shoot them. It's easier that way. Okay? And also this goes beyond this. Next slide. So this is Professor Andrew Kuhlman. And he's an illustrator. And he illustrates things like children's books, packaging design, lots of different materials. So he's interesting. Next slide. This is Becky Housen, Dr. Becky Housen, and what she does, she's printmaking, typography, advertising, branding, packaging. Next slide. I was trying to find a decent photograph of the film and animation tutor, who's Matt. This is him here or there. He's very camera shy. He's a bit like a small squirrel that comes out at Christmas. You don't see him very often. You do actually, you see him a lot, but it's mainly online. Next slide. Okay, that's fine, thank you. This is me, just in case you don't actually know. My background is in photography, curation, art direction, writing programs, writing materials. So this is interesting. Next slide. So one of the things that's important about the tutors are, your tutors should have a wide range of skills, and most of them do. And the other thing to think about this is, your tutors are human beings. And some of us actually have feelings. I personally don't, but some of them do. So that's something you have to think about. So this is something we introduced a few years ago. We tried to get students to come together and talk to each other. And we tried this about 6 years ago, 5 years ago, and it wasn't always successful. So what we decided to do was this. Next slide. We decided once a semester that every single student should bring in some food from their own village, their own country. Next slide. And play. This slide should play if you click on it. Can you click on the slide? Next slide. There we go. And so this is what we do. Every semester, students come in and they do this. Next slide. And again, next slide. And then next slide. And it works. Brilliant. So what we do, you literally will have to have lunch together. Sorry, very noisy students. You have to have lunch together. Next slide. Okay, so that potluck banquet was something we designed quite some time ago that means that students get to know each other, not just individually, but from a cultural point of view, how they work, where they come from, what's the cultural context in which you're doing work. So this is the important part now. Why is collaboration important? So I'm going to ask for a show of hands again. How many people here, students, don't collaborate? Keep your hands down if you don't collaborate. Well, some of you appear to collaborate. You don't collaborate. You're just sitting there going, yeah? Next slide. Okay, so we have our own students who collaborate with each other, which is what most people expect. Next slide. And play. Next slide. And they're working on multiple projects, working on projects together. So this is an important part. No one is working on their own on one single idea. You're working on multiple ideas. Next part, slide. Okay, so this is something that we put together
the ingredients and make a jelly.
4 years ago, 5 years ago.
And that's what sets it. It will be, but it
We
might be
get
quite nice
our
because,
students. This
you
is
might get some
Lucy.
texture. But I
She's a
think
printmaker.
use this sprayer.
What she's doing is she's
bit
running a
heavier.
class in printmaking for the other students. We call this a didactic presentation. And this is where the students will take everything they've learned from their undergrad programs till halfway through the postgrad programs. And what the students have to do is to write a lecture series, develop a series of workshops, and then actually put them in place for other students. So these students know nothing about the processes she's teaching them, which is gel plate, but they're learning it. Next slide. And play. Next slide. Oh no, go back one. There. Should start in 2 seconds. Press play. Oh. Okay, go back one, go back two. I'd love to do this myself. Go back one. Back, no, back. Yeah, now go, press one. Groundhog Day, it's okay, it happens. Well, right, trust me, that last one was quite interesting. You're just going to have to believe me. So what that particular student did, he was doing a didactic workshop on how you use typography and motion graphics to get information across to audiences, which is really useful. But as part of that process, he starts to pull together print clubs. So different types of print clubs that he runs as a student. And now that he's graduated last year, he now teaches those in another part of the university. So the actual collaborative element's really important. Next slide, please. And next slide. So, brilliant. So these, just examples of collaborations happening. No student should just work on your own. So for example, this is one of our print technicians, and she's taking a whole series of students through things they don't know, but they're having to work together, they're having to swap materials, and they're having to swap ideas. Next slide. And then the next one. This should play if you hit next. Okay. Now, yay. Sort of working. So again, this is them working together on things they don't know. So these are some photography students, or branding, or typography, or designers. And what they're being taught to do is to understand the basics of where typography comes from, then how it's used as a modern tool. So the previous session, someone spoke about AR and how, and it's a really good idea, no one should be using AR in the first or second year of a program. Once you know the visual language and the fundamentals of designs that you're trying to do, then you should have the ability to do them. That's really important. Next slide. So one of the things that we also do, somebody's got a very trigger finger up there. So one of the things we also do is we run a program of artists in residence. Now the artists in residence are usually graduates of the program. So this is Noah, and he happens to be doing a graduate in letterpress, printmaking, lino cut. And what he does is he comes in as an artist in residence. He teaches other students, undergrad and postgrad, and then he also has to deliver some lectures. What he gets for this is no money. So he's not paid, he gets no money, which is good. Saves us money. But what he does, he gets the experience, and he gets to use all the facilities for an entire year and doesn't pay anything for them. So artists in residence, really an interesting approach to where you make things work. Next. So one of the things about collaboration is you have to move outside your comfort zone. You have to work with people you don't necessarily like. That sounded wrong, but it's true. I work with people I don't like all the time. That's not true. I like all of them sometimes. So the thing you have to do is this. You have to learn how to be professional. So next. So this is an example of one of the students. He's an animator. He's never done projection mapping before. Next. So he works with a projection mapping person in another part of the institute. And they come together and they produce this. On the basis of this work, he puts this into exhibitions, he puts it into competitions, and he's shortlisted for a lot of different materials. But he couldn't have done that on his own. He needed to work with other people to be able to say, this is projection mapping. I don't know how to do it, but you've got specialist skills. Next. Right, so. I need some water. So, quick question. This is key to what I'm going to be talking about. How many of you in the audience, I keep calling you an audience, don't know why. How many of you have worked on live projects, In other words, projects that result in publications outside or work being used by other industries. How many of you actually do that? Put your hands up if you do. So some of you? Working with, some of you work with live projects? Well, yeah, I know you would. Yes. Okay, so this is key, this is important. Next slide. One of the things we do on the program is students do their own projects. They also do the projects that we set them. They also have to do live projects. Sometimes they're compulsory, sometimes they're optional. So this is a project with the Royal Birmingham Conservatoire. And every year, next slide, and next slide as well. So every year for the past 5 years, we've entered these competitions as live projects, and our students are usually selected. Next slide. Okay, and next one. Thank you. So students are entering this. This was last year's competition, and this is, it's a compulsory competition. I moved there. For the Royal Birmingham Conservatoire book jacket design, brought to us by the Conservatoire, and it's going to be published. So it's now been published. Next. And next. And there we go. So these, again, different publications, different tests, iterations, ideations. This ends up being the book that's chosen. Next. So this is Ishan, and what he did was, this book is published last month, so he's now left the program as an internationally published designer, which is something that's really interesting to do. I have to point this out. He did not want to do this. The reason we make things compulsory, in some cases, you have to move outside your comfort zone. You have to be able to say, I need to understand other people's requirements as well. Next. Okay. Very fast. I was going to slow down there. So we do this every year, the School of English. Again, compulsory. So you're working on other projects. All of these books are designed by students who don't necessarily want to be doing this sort of design, but they have to know how to do it, how to communicate with publishers, how to make sense of what the brief says. And this is important. So these have all been published by MA students. Next. Next slide, thank you. So this was last year's winner, and next. And we've just found out last week that this has just been won, this one as well has been chosen. So these live projects for the last 5 years, although compulsory, they're really important for students to change and reshape how you think. It's not about you, and this is going to sound terrible, okay? You're not important. The client's probably quite important. As a designer, you have to think about that. Next. Okay, so we also ask students to collaborate with organizations outside. So there are things like there are zine fairs in London, Birmingham, all over the world. And we ask students to get involved. So if you're, for example, an illustrator, maybe a graphic designer, but usually illustrators, we're going to say, right, there's a zine fair, organize one. Don't fantasize about it. Don't think someone will do it for you, because they won't. You do it yourself. So these 4 students organized a zine fair, and they organized it in Digbeth because they knew there was zine fairs down there. So they've organized it, and that's what they're doing. So it's being published. Next. So this is really important. This is being launched, I think it's tonight. Yeah, sorry. This is being launched tonight. I knew that because I can read numbers. See, 5. So this is being launched by one of our graphic design students, illustration students, and it's a publishing fair. It will run today, it will run tomorrow, and it'll run as a live event. So this is going to be with people outside. So live events are really important, not things you just want to do, but you have to then take what you've learned and push it into being used. That's essential. Next. Okay, so this was a project, again, compulsory, live project. Furman House are a 378-year-old English company that's still privately owned. It's the oldest company in Britain, privately owned. And they came to us. What they do is they design medals, armor, They designed the cavalry outfits that you'll see in tomorrow's coronation. Next. So these students then go to the venue. They discuss with some of their designers what they're looking for. Really important. Next. And then, this is the important part. At the end of that project, the CEO and one of the directors, they come in. Next. And what they do is they assess the students' ideas. Next. So each student has to pitch an idea to these clients. This is important. These clients are not tutors. These clients are business people, and this is interesting. They were very, very blunt. They said, we don't like your ideas. We do not like your ideas. We don't like them. That upsets the student, but these are the clients, and this is a live project. Next. So, this, yes, please play. So this was an idea that one of the students had to redesign their catalogues. Was literally just to use AR as a way of redesigning a catalogue. So this was what he pitched to the clients. The clients had never seen this before because they live in a completely different area of the world, and by that I mean in their heads, okay? So they're not designers. They have no idea. It's the first time they've seen it. So they go, this has possibilities, this is functional. But by making it compulsory, the students have to do it. Next. Oh, there's the same next. So again, using collaboration is essential. This is the School of Art, and this is them doing a live project.
Yeah, because I begged you to.
And then the next slide page is like, never mind.
Yes, so is anyone familiar with the term TART card? T-A-R-T card. Anyone? No? Okay, well, look it up afterwards. But that's what the project was about. It was a joint project. Okay, so you're working with these people. This was optional. Students didn't have to go. Next. So joint projects are not just student-tutor, student organisation outside. They're other students in other universities. So this was a project we did last year with Symbiosis University in Pune, in India. And it was to celebrate the 75th anniversary of independence. So this is it. Next. That's me with a... Go back one. That's me. That's terrible. Me with a glass of lovely Chardonnay. Very tasty. Just have to point that out. Next. So this is the exhibition. This exhibition started a year and a half before this. And what it involved was every Friday, students from the UK and students from India would meet in different time zones, and they would work jointly for 2 hours, as would staff and tutors, and produce a body of work based on it. Next, please. Yes, thank you. And this is what the exhibition eventually looks like. So this is a combination of students working individually, students in different institutes working together, and tutors working together to produce this body of work that was quite interesting. Okay, really important. It deals with similar issues to SDGs in different ways. Next. Hey, and next again. And next, there we go. So these are just some examples of students talking about different topics to deal with Indian society. So one of the things we did at the beginning of this project was there were 6 weeks worth of workshops, online lectures, and lectures from Dr. Chakrabarti understanding the 3 levels of history of, well, 3 parts of Indian culture since independence. Next. And next again. Sorry, this hand's getting really kind of tired. It's terrible. So one of the things that came out of this, and one of the things that's come out of the SDGs, is there's a catalogue at the end of it. An exhibition will disappear. It may end up in a box. It may be in an archive someplace. But a catalogue will go on for a long, long time, and that the information within it is really useful. What we found when we were doing this was some students were looking at climate change back then. So this is a particularly interesting student. She took all the statistics of how climate change had shaped 75 years worth of Indian history, and then she did essentially an embroidery of the heat chart. So you suddenly go, oh, interesting. Next. And next. And next. Okay, so this is Gareth. He was one of the illustration tutors on our program. This is Dr. Rohal Deshpande. He was a tutor on the other programs in India. And this is me. I like jigsaws. I like jigsaws. But there's a meaning behind it, I'll tell you later. So again, next. Aha. And, okay, and one more. So these, slightly different, okay? What we have here, this is Group J, Group G, Group H. These are 3 students from each institute working together online for most of the year to produce these outcomes. These students have never met face to face. They've only ever worked online, but they know each other now, and this is part of the process. Next. Oh, do you know there's a lot of pictures of me in here? Look, yeah, and I still look like this, even though this was years ago. So this is another project that's compulsory. All students, the very first project they do when they arrive is Black History Month. Next. Ooh, yep, and next. Perfect. So they have to learn and understand how they work, and they have to understand cultural aspects. So one of the reasons we put this in place is they have to understand some of these cultures, and this particular student got in contact with a UK black poet and worked with him right at the very beginning of the program. So she's been engaged all the way through working with other people. You have to. Next. And next. And number 3. So again, different methods and approaches to what it can be. You know, collage, lino cut, digital painting. But all of these things have a resonance in terms of what Black History Month is about and can be. Next. This is one way we displayed them. Just as small posters on a wall. Next. And next. And one more. But we also produce these as large-scale digital pieces in our atrium. Next. So this is what they look like. So one of the things that we also ask students to think about is, and you might want to think about this, how is your work displayed? Where is it going to be seen? And what's the format it's going to be in? It changes your design structure if you don't know those things. Okay? And next. And next again. So there's the third one. So the scale changes it when you see it. Next. Okay, so we've made these things optional. Students don't work on their own. Collaboration, joint projects are essential. So this is a joint project with fashion, and it results in a piece of film. So next. So this was only finished about 3 weeks ago. Next. Ooh, nice. So these are fashion students working with some MA students on joint projects. Next. And press play. Yay. Anyway. So this is going to be used by the fashion students at their shows starting, I think it's about 2 weeks' time. But it's a joint project, and it moves the students, say for example in our courses, into unusual and uncomfortable areas. But it's useful. Next. Da, da, da. Does anyone recognize that? You have to put your hands up or shout at me. Do you recognize this? Good. Why? Gone all quiet. Okay, what I was going to do was show you some examples of this, and you would all go, ooh. But I'm not going to. Because you'd have all gone, ooh, and not gone and seen the show. So, what I'm going to say is this. If you want to see what all the universities have done for this, you're going to have to walk over there. There's some of those people going, huh? Walk? God. Next. All right, so I'm nearly finished. So there's two more things that are important. One, trips, enrichment, and research and community. So next is this. And next again. And then you should press play. So we take students on things like local programs, local trips, things you can walk to, things that are only 2 or 3 miles away. And you get them to use these elements as part of research. Next. Okay, and next. And okay, so every year we have a Christmas party, and it's really important that you actually... Yes, I do look like that. I do. I saw you pointing. Underneath this fat, this looks like this. It's a t-shirt, just as a t-shirt, don't worry. But the thing is, you have a Christmas party. Next. And next again, and then hit play. Whoop, I won't play. Next. Sorry. Next. And then next, and then hit play. Yay. So, literally, you're taking students out of the zone they work in and moving them into other areas. That's the kind of key thing. Some students. Next. So the other thing, again, local trips. Next. So whatever big exhibition happens to be on, it's really good to take students to them, literally get them out the building and have a discussion around the subject or the object just to see what happens. Next. And next again. So these are slightly different. These are trips to London, usually organised by another tutor. Next. This is a walking tour. So we're taking the students from here and we're going to walk to an exhibition along canals. The walking tour takes about 30 minutes and it's roughly about maybe 1.5 to 2 miles. It's really interesting, I've found, that some of the younger people, not me, tire when walking for half an hour. Just tired, can't walk. You have to learn to walk. Next. And again, next. And third one. So these are trips to various shows. So this is to a place called 180 The Strand. So you're taking students out of Birmingham into other areas. Next. Again, some trips are more than just research. They're actually functional. So sometimes when you're going to organise a trip, what you should be thinking about is this. What's the student going to learn when they're there? So we took some students to the Bodleian Library in Oxford, and what they started to do is to make prints. So that was organised by Becky, and she organised the printmaking aspect. Next. That's, yep. So again, just trips. Next. Other next. And next. And next. And next. And next. I'm just trying to trip them up, that's all. Next. Right, so nearly finished. So at the end of the year, what's important is a kind of graduation. So next. So graduation, really important. Next. Yes, this is going to be funny. Press play.
1, 2, 3, throw your hat.
I got your attention.
1. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, go! Yay!
Well, that went well, didn't it? Yeah. Next.
1.
Aha. And a graduate degree show. You should always have one. You're having one here today. They'll go on for a few days. It's a celebration. You have to record it, take photographs, make sure you've got it someplace with you. Next. And next again. and press play. So this is where we just happen to have the degree shows at the moment in our shell. Pretty straightforward. It's a celebration. The community is coming together. Next. Okay, I'm going to show you these. I'm going to show you the first three, not that important, but then the last set of 5, you need to record them. So next. Okay, so these are our Padlet links. Next. This is important. In lockdown, we had to find new ways of drawing work together. So this is what we did. We put a Padlet link together that all tutors put books onto. This is just a screen grab. And they put books to do with all our MA visual communication ideas. So you have all of these different things. This is where we put everything from logo type design to a short write guiding of art to graphic design, creating comics. There's a whole series of things in there. Students have access to this online, 24 hours a day. You can find the chapters you need. Next. So this is London. So Matt puts this together and he sort of zones it by different areas, all within walking distance of the most recent exhibitions. So if you want to see these exhibitions east of the city, this is where they are. You want to go to South Kensington, they're there. You want to go and look at, well, there's not a lot happening there, really. Don't go there. There's some things happening there. Does that make sense? Next. We've also got this, which is a discussion Padlet. So literally every tutor will things you should read, look at, watch and listen, maybe visit, discussion, inspiration, things maybe to do. It's just an idea. Next. Oh yeah, I've got student quotes. Some of these are going to be uncomfortable, but it's okay, don't worry. They're not meant to be uncomfortable. You're meant to go, I will learn the hard way. Next. And here we go. We asked the students, I don't know, last month, to describe the course and the experience in one word. We changed that after about 2 minutes when they were using more than one word. Next. That was the first word they said. Collaborative. Then they said complex. Next. Thought-provoking. Next. Explorative. This was interesting. Time-consuming, both good and bad. And what they meant by that was, we don't have enough time to do things. And our response is, make time. You have to. It's engaging independent thinking. Next. That. Making students do live projects, collaborative projects, things you don't want to do. That's how you learn. You don't learn by living in your own bubble. Because if you live in your own bubble, we'll go, and it's gone. Next. Again, next. So engaging tutorials. Now, this is interesting. They describe our tutorials as confrontational, but in a good way. And that means we will challenge. You should all be challenged and should be challenging each other. Next. Very Socratic. I had to go and look that up, but the student knew what they meant and it was right. I knew what it meant. Next. All right, feedback. Very honest, useful, giving a different angle to thinking. Remember I showed you the Furman project with the directors and the CEO, and they were very direct, very honest. We would have to be the same. Next. Cultural contextual thinking. That's part of the potluck banquet. Next. Freedom to explore your own development. And next. Okay, what I'd like you to do is this. If you've got a camera on your phone, hold on. Do you all have cameras on your phones? You do. Can you get them out? Get your cameras out. Good, that's fine. I'm going to show you 5 links, or 6. I can't remember. It's 5 or 6. And what I'd like you to do, I'm going to show you some examples. Next, and next. I think the next one. One more, then stop. No, go back. Photograph those. Okay? Right, so these are links that we've used for the past, I don't know, sort of 3 or 4 years. I was hoping to be live linked, but I'm not live. That's live linked, by the way. I'm not live linked. Next. So this is, wrong order. Adsoftheworld.com. So if you're interested in advertising, creative writing, copywriting, if you're interested in how ideas come together, but you're all interested in the same idea in different countries, this is a website that allows you to individually source campaigns. So if you want to talk about how McDonald's advertises in Sweden or Chile or South America or Brisbane, it'll break down why it does it. They'll give you concepts in there as well. So, and it's updated every day. So these are all live. So all of these things, they're film, animation, moving image, advertising, illustration, graphic design. They're all in there. So Ads of the World is something that's really useful to use. Next. All right, Holition. If anyone's really interested in kind of installation, development of ideas, projection mapping, how you can sort of change rebranding ideas, have a look at their website. They're really interesting. I was going to say rip off, but I'm not going to. They borrow heavily from kind of fine art sectors and how they can use things. Next. Right, this is really important if you're interested. Graphiccompetitions.com. Every week, every Monday at 11 o'clock, what they will do is they will send you, if you sign up, the most recent international competitions available. So this was last Monday. So last Monday, you have an architectural competition. It's the Jacques Rougerie Foundation. I'm not sure I'm saying that right. A typography day. If you enter this and you're selected, you will be in an exhibition this December in India. Taylor Wessing is a UK portrait one. And this is the Japanese Illustration Awards. So if you're an illustrator and you're interested in showing across the world, have a look at Japan. They send you a link to their newsletter every Monday at 11 o'clock. Or if you're here, it's going to be much later. Next. If you're a photographer or you're interested in elements of photography, this is called American Suburbex. And what it does is you'll find every forms of art using photography, essays, gallery visits, reviews, everything under the sun. You'll find video, you'll find interviews. Next. Okay, this is the last one. This is designscene.net. If you're a commercial photographer, or you want to be an art director, or you're interested in fashion, you need to look at this. If you go to this, it'll take you to art direction. If you go to, I think it's one of these ones, you can download and see what the next recent trends are. So I did this last night, and this is going to tell me what's going to be on show in the next 6 months. Really useful. Next. I think we're finished. Sorry. Are there... Oh, it's killing me. Are there any questions? Would anyone like to know who does my hair? No one? Oh, yes, I do it myself. Oh, sorry. Pardon?
The top cut.
Oh, okay. Okay, right. I apologize in advance. The project I mentioned earlier that was done with the School of Art and our students using Risograph over kind of a Wednesday, because this happened to be Wednesday. The theme was tart cards. Okay. Now, how do I put this? I don't know if in the UK in the 1980s, before most of you were born, maybe into the early 1990s, in London you'd find red phone boxes. Across the UK you'd find red phone boxes. And if you went into the phone box, you'd find what was called a tart card. And you'd pick up one of these cards, which had usually some sort of crude illustration on it, and it would have a telephone number. And you would call up that telephone number, and you would have an encounter. I'm trying to phrase this nice, I don't know how else to say this. And they were illegal. You're not allowed to do that. Okay? So essentially it was about prostitution. Okay? So we did a project with the students from different cultures to get them to use their skills in terms of whatever area they were working in and do a risograph equivalent to see if they could make it work, which was then exhibited the following week at Margaret Street Gallery, which is part of Margaret Street. So what we try and do is get people to think in different ways. So you might come in as a graphic designer or an illustrator, But on a program, you'll leave possibly as an art director or something you never even thought about. Oliver, I've nicely avoided explaining exactly what tart cards are. Any other questions? Would anyone like me to shut up so you can all go and have lunch? Put your hands up if you want me to shut up. Okay? Okay, don't. Applaud really, really loudly if you want me to shut up and leave the stage. Louder, louder, louder. I can leave. Right, I'm off. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Robert Tripp, for your valuable insight on quality education. Please give Professor Robert Tripp an applause. Our fourth seminar session, Video Game in France, More Than Entertainment, that will be moderated by Ms. Pramesti Saniscara, Lecturer of Visual Communication Design, Ciputra University, and Mr. David Pata, Coordinator of Cultural, Event and Creative Industry of Institute Francais, Indonesia. Now I would like to call upon our next speaker. Without further ado, I invite Ms. Pramesti Saniscara and Mr. David Pata to the stage.
Yeah, good afternoon, everybody here, students, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kara. I'm one of the lecturers from Visual Communication Design in UC Surabaya. So before we start, I would like to read Mr. David Pata's CV. Okay, Mr. David Pata, his education is one bachelor degree in art history and archaeology. Master's degree in Cultural Project and Art Management for La Sorbonne in Paris. And then you got two master's degree actually. The other one is master degree in Public Policy, majors in Art and Culture from Sciences du Paris. Is it right? Correct? Okay. And his experiences ranges from programmer for the first radio show in France, dedicated to culture industry for the program Soft Power at Radio France. Is a national public radio for 3 years. And then also experiences in cultural outreach in museum, galleries, and art management for theaters. That is one big of a CV. Okay. So our topic today is about video games in France. So if any of you have any questions, and if any of you have an interest in gaming industries, especially if you want to go to Paris, maybe you can ask Mr. David directly today, because we are blessed with your presence, sir. Okay, so I will give you the floor and start the presentation.
Okay. Hello. Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for the invitation. I'm very glad to be here to talk to you about the French video games industry. Because the French video games industry is it's very interesting. We are very dynamic in that field, and I think it could interest you because you are creative students, so it's something that could matter for you, and it's to give you ideas of what you could do after your degree. So to begin, video games in France are two main features, I would say. It's like creativity and diversity. So we have like AAA games and also indie games. So AAA games, it's like big games which cost of millions of dollars and a lot of years of work, but also small studios with indie games. So I would like, so can we, next please? So here, France, quite far away from Indonesia, but many things to share together. Next please. So yes, France, it's creativity and diversity. So like, as I mentioned, can we next, please? Yes, just to begin, some figures to show you how important is the French industry in the field of video games. In France, most of French people play video games. 70% play at least one time a year video games, which is huge. It's like 40 40 million of French people who play video games. And most of them, they are not only young people or youth or children, most of them are adults. It's 80% of them. Yeah, can we, next please? And the market is very important. It's one of the most important in Europe with almost $6 billion. And it's, yes, the first market in Europe, and the first category of games which are successful are consoles, of course, for more than a half, and a quarter for mobile games, and a quarter for PC games. So it's the difference, it's a big difference with Indonesia, because here in Indonesia, as you may know, mobile games are very famous and they are very popular. In France, it's not so popular. So it's a main difference, but yeah. And the French ecosystem is very dynamic, as I mentioned. There are like 700 studios, and most of them are indie studios. 80% of French video games work for indie studios, and 20% is for big games, AAA games, so which has a lot of money. We have many schools. 30 schools are dedicated to video games. So in all the French territory, there are like 30 schools with programs. And we love organization, professional organization. There are 3 national organizations to structure the industry, and 9 regional professional organizations. It's like for each province of France, there is a professional organization to structure the ecosystem of video games. So very helpful to create link between the professional. So of course, video games, you may know, I don't know who play video games. I didn't ask. Maybe just raise your hand, just to be sure. Okay, 1. Only 1? You don't play video games? 2, 3, okay. Maybe you may know only by name Assassin's Creed. Do you know Assassin's Creed? Yes, yeah. And so it's a French video game, and we are very proud of this studio. Of course, it's a franchise, and there are like more than 20 games from Assassin's Creed, and they are very important. It costs a lot. All the French studios don't do games like that. It's quite exceptional. It's Ubisoft who do this game, and oh yeah, and what is very interesting in Assassin's Creed is the creativity, because some of you are architects or want to be architects. Is that in that game, for example, they asked to architects to recreate the cathedral. As you see, the Paris cathedral, they asked to architects to recreate it, to create a gameplay where you can play with your character. So it's something that you could do, like to work with studios, because they need architects to create architecture and settings. And it asked almost 1 year to recreate Notre Dame, the cathedral, 1 year just to do it perfectly as the same one. And so it's very impressive when you play this video game, because you have the impression to be in the Middle Ages of Paris. So yeah. So can we, next please? Here's some views, because this game is about French Revolution. Next. So here we are inside the cathedral. So it looks really like it's a big work, to know better. It's a big work to recreate the atmosphere with the light of the cathedral. So it's very, very beautiful, very beautiful. Next. Another game. So I will just present you a few of the games, but there are many, many. But just to present you the big success, international success from France. So this is another game, and it's a very cool game. It's a narrative game. I don't know if you heard about that expression. Yes, you did. We have fans of video games. So narrative games are games like cinema. So your choices will influence the story. It's not like battles or fightings. It's about recreate the stories, and your choices will influence the story. And this game, it's a French studio, Don't Nod, and you are a girl from the United States. You are an American girl, 18 years old, artist, and she tries to figure out what is happening in her village, in her small town, and she has the power to come back in the past. So you can influence her choice to help her to find the solution and to help her to solve problems. And I will show you maybe next, like the trigger of the game. Maybe if we can have the sound.
At Blackwell Academy, my new home.
Maybe we can. Oh, okay.
In the end, it's still high school, which kind of sucks.
So you play the
In this
role of
club.
that girl, of the girl.
Shit, home. Let's dance or take my picture with your new camera. Come on, rock out, girl.
Then something happened. Something that changed my life forever.
So paranormal activities.
Max, what's going on? Where am I? There's something else I have to tell you. Holy shit. Talk to me, Max. I discovered I could reverse time. Max, start from the beginning.
Hey! Max? Chloe? Oh, get in, Max!
In the bathroom today, you set off the alarm. You hella saved my life.
Don't ever touch me again! Bang!
What the hell?
Come on, slowpoke!
If I see you here again, you'll learn all about real trouble.
So, what would you do now?
So it's a series of games, so there are many of them. It's really like a movie, and it's very impressive, and it has a lot of success because, as you can see, the girl is a normal girl. You can identify very easily, and yes, this game has a huge success in all over the world. And to finish with the big games, I would like to talk to you about Quantic Dream. Quantic Dream is a studio, French studio. And we are very proud to have them as well because they create narrative games with a lot of money, and they use like cinema techniques. So it's very impressive, and we will show you maybe the next slide, please. I will show you the techniques that they use, and it's very impressive. With the sound, maybe.
Actor, his voice, his face, and his body. These shoots are obviously done with American actors because the game's original version is in American English. After that, there are the body-only shoots, representing around 250 days of filming, while the performance capture is 100 days of filming. Now, body-only shoots, there are two types. There are the action shoots and the technical shoots, which are mokit shoots.
So it's like in cinema.
Mokit is when the player controls a character on the screen, and he moves in an environment to explore it. This is of particular importance at Quantic Dream, and therefore we shoot a lot to offer a unique context for each scene and each character.
The biggest challenge for the mocap team was shooting a Spider-Man mokit. We had to build a wall and attach an actor to a harness with cables so we could pull him up and render him climbing.
The shooting on this game total took about, I would say, more than a year, maybe 1 and 2 years, with about 300 actors on set, so it's quite a massive production. But so much happened on this set, between the stunts and the shootings with a little girl and all these great actors that we had. It was really a very, very memorable journey for the team and for myself.
So here for the technique, so it's very impressive. So as you heard, it's like 300 actors and more than a year to just shot the scenes to recreate an atmosphere and a narrative game. The game calls Detroit Become a Human, and you have the 3 ways to play this game, and you are robots, and you try to, it's a long story, complex story, but you play a robot, and it's very interesting. So here for the triple and the big games, but as I mentioned, 80% of the studio in France are independent, and they do independent games, and they may interest you. Oh yeah, and they will, Quantic Dream will do the next Star Wars games, so huge game. Next, please. So yes, I will talk to you about 2-3 indie games that you can try because they are very cool. So the first one that I want to give you some information is Have a Nice Death. This game was very successful in France last year, and he won many prizes. We are also very proud of that game in France. It's everywhere in the world for the international market, and it's very original because you play you are like the Death has got her own company, and you play the role of Death, the boss of the Death, and you need to kill people and to kill the souls because you are like the CEO of your company. And so I will show you the trailer. It will be clearer. So here, and it's on Switch and the PC. Next, please. And here's the trailer.
Ah, good morning, Death. What a lovely day to be alive, wouldn't you say? Ready for another busy week in the afterlife? Oh my, busy may have been an understatement. Evidently, your sorrows have been working overtime. Oh my, really? Wow, that is truly unprofessional. Now, Death, we talked about this. Try not to lose your temper again. Maybe it's about time your subordinates showed you some respect. Well, you know what they say. If you want things done right, it's best to do them yourself.
Yeah, so it's a very as you can see, it's a very beautiful game. Like for the aesthetic and visual art part, it's there is a lot of research and very interesting also for the music. So it's very an artistic work. Yeah, and some of you know these games. So Stray, I think it's my favorite game from last year and this year. It's an amazing game that I advise you really to play. If you have a game to play from France for this year, I would recommend this one. It's a very short game. It's like 10 hours game, so it's very quick. And you play, you are a cat. I know that here in Indonesia we love a lot cats. We are very fan of cats. And you are a cat, and you try to discover why humankind disappear. And so you go in a post-apocalyptic world, and you try to figure out why there is no human, and you talk with robots, and you really act like a cat. So you can, you talk with, you don't talk, you communicate with the other cats, you eat as the other cats, you can make further things like cats do. So it's very a game, contemplative game, and at the same time, very many discoveries. And the the aesthetic of the game is amazing. Like for the light and the architecture and the atmosphere, it's amazing. It's an amazing work. And the studio is French. It's B12, Blue 12, sorry, the studio. So we show you the. Can we move on, please? So here, as you can see, yeah. So you are this cat. As you can see, the architecture is really, really amazing. And it's so cute. And it's very, very cute. Like, it's not stressful games. Really, if you have time, and go ahead. You won't regret it. So here for the end, here it's a mobile phone game, independent mobile phone game that you can try on your phone as well. It's called Inua, and it's very interesting because it's a narrative game, and you try to figure out, try to find why a ship disappeared in the North Pole, and you play many characters. And yeah, it's quite complex story, but it's very addictive. And this game won many prizes, and we are very proud in France of that game. So can we move on? Next, please. Next. Yeah, and here's a trailer.
Oh, so you're the journalist.
Arte is a national public
what our readers
television.
really want to know is whether we're any closer to finding out what happened to the Terror and her crew.
Sir, we must abandon the Terror.
Abandon the Terror? Nonsense!
This ship is lost, Lieutenant. No one is coming for us.
It is critical that we document our findings.
Without my camera, there isn't going to be much of a film. How did you know that the Inuit were coming?
I've never experienced anything like it. What do you think it means?
It means you must trust me.
I've never...
You've never met an Inuk before?
Suluk, do you know the meaning of the symbols on these rocks? A sign of our passage.
What makes you think that you're different from them?
Because I'm going to be the one who tells the story.
Listen to me. There's just something very wrong with this place.
So Inua, it's a very poetic game, and at the same time, it deals with very sensitive issues, such as colonialism. So it's a very well-done game and very brilliant game. So once again, I advise you this game. And the last one, indie games. This game, it's for free. You can download it. It's in English as well. So all the games that I mentioned are in English as well. So you can download it, buy them, and it's in English. So, and this one is also in English, A Blind Legend. And this game, I think it's it's not very common, but it's a game that you can play without pictures. It's only with sound. So you just record, you just put your headphones, and it's an adventure game, and you are a knight, a blind knight, and you're a knight, and you try to, it's an adventure, so you have missions, etc. But it's only with hearing. It's only, sorry, with ears and the sound and the music, and it's very impressive. And it's for free. You can download it right now on App Store or Play Store, and very impressive. And it was made by the studio Dowino and the French national radio, public radio, Radio France. So yeah, it's very, very interesting game. So now you have a picture of what is happening in France for video games, indie games, AAA games. So the question is now, why is it why the success? Why we have so many studios in France? Why we have so many games? Because the first reason is the education. Education is key for the game industry. Can we, next please? Yeah, education is key. We have, as I said in my introduction, we have more than 30 schools dedicated to video games, or schools which have video games program. And most of the schools have got an English program, so you can apply to that schools. And there are also international masters or bachelor. So very interesting. And so you can learn programming school, you can learn how to program, and you can also learn business and management. So it's not only art world or artistic thing of video games, it's also the business thing of video games. So just quick presentation of two schools. One of the most famous is the Gobelin École des Gobelins, School of Les Gobelins, where you can learn how to create video games. It's an animation school, and there is a department of video games since 2011. And there are international classes also in that school. So very interesting, and there is degrees in English, summer school in English. And if you want to get better in video games or to learn more things about video games, it's a good idea. And it's in Paris because, as I said at the beginning, all the studios and French companies are in Paris. I mean, most of them, 50% of them are in Paris. And the others, so here, pictures of the school. Oh, and the director of the school, Les Gobelins, will come in Surabaya in September. So stay in touch. We stay in touch, and we will give you all the information on the Institut Français website and Instagram. And the other school, which is great, it's a National School of Video Games. It's a public school. And this school is very interesting because you are you are a part-time student, part-time you work in studio, and you are paid by studios to work. And very soon there is an international master's degree for video games. So very soon you can apply to this school. And this school is very interesting because there are studios to recreate video games, like for sound, for movement. Yes. The equipment are wonderful. Yes, next please. And the other reason of success, I think it's the grants from the French government. Because since 2006, video games are considered in France as part of artistic field. So they are considered as art. So because they are art, and to help to develop independent art, artistic thing, not only things that works with a lot of money, French government decided to give money to independent studio to help them to produce independent creation. And so we have like 4.2 million euros, like $5 million each year to help studios to develop their games. Next, please. Yes, and the National Public TV and National Public Radio give also money to develop games. For example, for Inua, it's Arte. Arte, it's a national TV channel, and Radio France, which is a national radio. So yes, art is, video games are considered as art in France. And next, please. Because video games gather many features of art, like in a movie, you have like music, sound, symphony, like some games like some games have music, and you can go to concert hall to hear music. Like classical orchestra play music of video games. It's visual art, of course, story, like in a movie or in a play, characters, emotion, setting, architecture. So I think today we can consider video games as part of art, and that's why it's interesting. But the only thing is different from all the other arts in the world is, what is it, according to you? What is the difference between video games and cinema? No idea? Yeah? Yeah, exactly. The main difference between cinema, literature, and other kind of art is the interactivity. Because games imply the decision of the player. You're not only a viewer. So that's why it's a very interesting way of creation, video games. You're not only like just waiting for the thing, you are part of the story. And I think it's the main thing about video games. It's not only like entertainment, it's really a thing that involves you in the work of art. Yeah, and interactivity. Yeah, and so I would like to finish with, because video games are considered as art, and many museums in France have exhibitions about video games. For this year, we have two main exhibitions. The first one is in Centre Pompidou. Centre Pompidou, I don't know, it's the biggest museum dedicated to modern art in France and in Europe. It's one of the biggest collection for Picasso, Monet, Picasso, Miro. So it's very, it's like I don't know, but it's like we are very, it's only dedicated to art. So if the Centre Pompidou do an exhibition about video games, it means that video games are really into art. It's not only entertainment for young or children. It's not games. There are more than that. And so there is an exhibition about video games right now in France. And it's about the inspiration of artists with video games. And we show also independent video games. So it's a museum dedicated to modern art, but with video games. So it's a very strong message from the Centre Pompidou.
Next slide.
Yes, next please.
Next slide.
And another exhibition takes place in the Fine Art Museum of Lille. Lille is a city of north of France. Is a city from north of France. And the museum invited 2 studios to present their works of art, their video games, in the collection. So we can move, next please. So for example, you have classical paintings, like in the Louvre, you know, with the Mona Lisa, like in the Louvre. But next to that, you have video games. So video games are really considered as work of art. And again, it's very important to show that it's not only entertainment. Yes, next please. Yeah, here, the entrance of the exhibition. So you enter in the world of the game studio. And like, look, it's like a sculpture, a classical sculpture, and there are here the characters of the studios. So it's like the same. The classical sculpture is on the same level as the characters of video games. Yes, next please. And many libraries also offer to French visitors and other visitors to borrow video games. So you can borrow books, but you can also borrow video games because they are considered, as I said, cultural things. So you can borrow video games, you can take them to your school, to your house, and you can also play video games in the library. So for free, or you just have to register, and it's not expensive at all because there are public libraries. You can just come and play video games, and like that. So, very... next, please. And so, to finish, if you are interested in video games, French video games, we have a partner at the Institut Français, French Embassy, with the Lazy Monday that you may know. The Lazy Monday are influencers, Indonesian influencers, and they choose French studio, and we try to have them, and we create interviews with them to present their creation. So if you're interested, each month, we have a video about French video game in Indonesian, Bahasa Indonesia. So it's not in French, it's in Bahasa Indonesia or Bahasa Indonesia subtitles, and you can learn about video games from France. So here, can you, next please. So here's the last, one of the last video. Next please. Some of you, have you heard about Dead Cell? Dead Cells is it's a quite famous game also in international market, and we did an interview. So if you, it's our last video, it was just out like a few days ago. So here's a video, and the program is called the Lazy Lundi, because lundi means Monday in French. So it's a pun. So Lazy Lundi, it's like the Lazy Monday. Yeah, it's okay. And as you may know this game, because it's quite famous here in Surabaya, so Mojiken Studio, with a space for the unbound. In France, we love independent games. We really love it. And this game is very famous in France. And there are many articles in the press that talk about this game. And for example, Courrier International, it's like important media newspaper. And it's not a newspaper dedicated to video games. It's like generalist video. It's a generalist media. And they talk about Indonesian art scene and Indonesian video games ecosystem. Because, and this article says that there is a lot of creativity, and they take as an example a space for the unbound. So we are looking forward Indonesia as well in France. Thank you very much. Can we? Yeah. Next, please. Thank you very much. So if you have a question, please, and If you have some suggestion, recommendation, here my email to stay in touch. Thank you very much.
Okay, merci beaucoup. And then before we move on to my questions, are there any questions from the audience? Okay, we have a lot of questions. Wait, I'm gonna go there to you. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Hello, sir. My name is Juan Rico. I have a question. Do you have any tips and tricks for students who wants to dive deep into the gaming industries?
Sorry?
Do you have any tips and tricks for a student who wants to dive deep into the gaming industry?
Yeah, as I know, because I'm not, as you may know, game developer, but I'm in touch with the studios. But I know that many studios begin from scratch. That's to say, they didn't take lesson in any school. They learn everything on YouTube, internet. So if it's really something that you're interested in, you can learn many things on YouTube, for example, or there are many videos to learn to do video games by yourself. And I think it's a characteristic of video games industry because the community is very important in video games and studios help between each other. Of course, there is competition for the market. Of course, there is a lot of money, there's a lot of money, but it's a community. So if you need some help, I advise you to reach, for example, Mojiken Studio if you have questions. I think it's a community. So if you need help, contact them or contact other studio or go on YouTube. So for begin, and then there are many links between design, visual arts, music. So you can also you can like create a team, and each one can bring different things, because to do a video games it's not only programming. It's about writing a story, writing a music. So it's not only programming. So that's why if you are interested in video games, you are very qualified to do it.
Okay, thank you. Or you can just go to Institut Français, right?
Sorry?
You can just go to Institut Français every month.
Yeah, and here at Surabaya, we have a French institute, Institut Français, and there are many events, cultural events, so you can just write Institut Français Surabaya, and there we have many events, and the next event dedicated to video games is in November. So stay tuned, there will be many things for video games. Yeah.
Okay, next question. Thank you, John.
Hello. Hello. I wanted to know, art style are one of the more important aspect of game developing, correct? Art styles.
Yeah.
Nowadays, the more popular art styles are 2D or 3D art styles. I wanted to know for upcoming game developers who wants to use a less popular art style, should they still use that art style, or should they change their art style to fit the more popular one? Thank you.
I'm sorry. I think I did not.
Sorry. Okay, I will.
Yeah.
Our students and many artists there, they already have their own art styles, right?
Yeah.
But nowadays in the game industry, there are like 2D or 3D art styles in specific. But her question is if they have their own art style, like maybe a little bit not really popular art style.
Oh, okay.
What do you think about that? Should they change it to the more popular art style or not?
Very difficult question. First, there are few things, I think. The first thing is as a professional, because if you work for companies, I think you have to adapt to their wedding if you want to have money at the end. I think it's the first thing, of course, because you need to live. It's not only creation for creation, because we have to be in the real life. But the second thing, I think you should not change your style at all. Like continue developing your own style by your way and try to find a studio, try to find a publisher. I think if you have something special, you have to keep it. It's very important because if everyone here has the same style, it's not interesting to have an art school or creative school because we learn you how to be creative. It's not to be the same, but there are two things. You need to have money at the end of the month, so you have to be adaptable to the willing of your companies with who you work. But at the other time, you should stay creative. So it's a balance between the two, according to me. But yeah.
Okay, thank you. Any question next? Are you sure? Yeah, there's one over there in the audience.
So, sir, I want to ask about platforms in the gaming industry right now, because right now we have options like mobile phones, PC, or console, right? So, if, say, we're a small studio or we're a small team, like, which platform is preferable?
I think it's a very tough question as well, but I think you should have in mind that at the end you can create independent games and you can create independent artwork. But maybe you should also think the way to reach the people. So here's the thing, for example, I think that there is no the best platform. It depends on the game because each game is different. For example, if you do a game on mobile phone, it's completely another way of programming games if you do it for PC or console because it's not the same energy, it's not the same way of having the game in the hand. So it really depends on you. And for example, if you are here in Indonesia, mobile games are very famous. So maybe it's a way to develop games, like to begin with mobile games to get better known and then to do other things. So it's up to, I think it's really up to, I don't know if it helps, but yeah.
Thank you very much.
And for example, and I think another thing for the international, if you want to reach the international market, Steam platform, so for PC games, it's maybe one of the best way to reach the international market because it's very, above all if you're independent, because it's very easy to upload your game. And I know that in France we love Steam, we love indie games, and many of gamers are looking for new indie games like every day on the platform Steam. So, and it's a way to reach international market.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, we have one more time for one more question.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is the last question.
Okay.
Okay. I think most of the question is already asked by the student, but I'm a little bit curious about Assassin's Creed. It's located in France, right?
Yeah, between France and Canada.
Yeah, France and Canada. I was thinking they used real reference in French history, like building and etc. But so we, the international audience, is thinking like, oh, this is French-like, but I don't know. Is it the real the portrayal of the France in the past in the game? Is it accurate or I don't know?
I think for Assassin's Creed there are several things. The first thing is that we have to think it's fiction. It's a game and it's a fiction. It's not a real. It's not a documentary. So the first thing, and they say it. For example, for the cathedral, it looks the same, but it's not the same proportion. Because as you may know, the cathedral in Paris burned like a few years ago. It burned, and we wanted to use the Assassin's Creed 3D model, but it was not possible because it was not enough precise to rebuild the cathedral according to their model. So it's fiction. But they ask to historians to recreate their game. So it's inspiration, and there is some historical truth. For example, I read many things that historians say that it's really like the Paris in the Middle Ages or during the 17th century, and we don't have other reproduction. But they have the help of historians and universities and teachers, and So there is a truth part, but also fiction. And the other thing is there are many debates about that in France. Also in France, because the way they represent history, it creates a lot of debate because it's for political reason, ideological reason, and it creates a lot of debate. So we don't know. So yeah. So even in France, we are like, is it the truth? Isn't it the truth? So, but it's difficult because video games implies interactivity. So you think you are living the real life, but it's fiction. Yeah.
Okay, thank you for the questions, students, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much.
Okay, it's a very interesting presentation from Mr. David, right? Like, I'm just doing a little recap. So, video game is a really, collaborative platform where not only the programmer should do the work, but also with the storyteller, with the music, with the ambience, and also architecture as well, right? So if students here want to learn more about video games, but we don't really have that much, gaming major in Indonesia, but you can always learn from YouTube or you can join a community. We have one right here in Surabaya, so you can go to Mojikan Studio or also in Institut Français.
Yeah,
right, Mr. David?
And I just wanted to add that we have many projects at the Institut Français related to video games. So I advise you to check our website, and at the end of the year, we will also organize events dedicated to video games here in Surabaya, but also in Jakarta. So we are very active in video games field. So just check our website, Instagram page. Jakarta, there is the Institut Français Indonesia, Jakarta, and Institut Français Surabaya, 2 pages. So more events.
Yeah, it's very interconnected with the internet right now. Okay, thank you. That's it for today from Mr. David Pata, and I will give the floor back to the MC, and merci beaucoup, and see you next time.
Thank you, Ms. Pramesti Sanishara and Mr. David Pata for sharing their thoughts and insight today with us. I'm sure we all have gained a lot of knowledge and understanding from all the speakers. I'm Violeta Gunawan. Thank you so much for your attention, but stay tuned because we're about to enter the launching ceremony of Art Explosion 2023. And goodbye.
Cobain Mixed Up Selection Korean Cheeseburger.
Cheesy and chewy doodle.
불닭이 아프다. Kamu mau? Sedapnya memang. Mixed Up Selection Korean Cheeseburger. So tempting, almost done.
기대 주어서 나는 있잖아. 정말 빈틈없이 행복해. 너를 따라서 시간은 흐르고 멈춰. 눈끄러미 너를 들여다보고는 그것 말고는 아무것도 알 수 없어서 너의 모든 순간 그게 나였으면 좋겠다. 생각만 해도 가슴이 차올라. 나는 온통 너로.
Cobain Mixed Up Selection Korean Cheeseburger.
Cheesy and chewy doodle.
불닭이 아프다. Kamu mau? Sedapnya memang. Mixed Up Selection Korean Cheeseburger. So tempting, almost done.
Welcome to Universitas Ciputra, where world-class entrepreneurs are born. We deeply believe that entrepreneurship can be a life-changing value and to enable everyone to achieve their dreams. Here in Universitas Ciputra, everyone can have the opportunity to become the best version of themselves and to make a contribution to society. So let's create your breakthrough solution with us to make life better for everyone and to become world-class entrepreneurs.
We believe entrepreneurship is far greater than just starting a successful venture. It is a way of life where mindset, attitude, moral ethics, capacity and actions are put to the test. Universitas Ciputra provides a real-life learning environment for our students, including mentoring, facilitating, and providing networks. We assist them in starting and growing their ventures. We also help them to develop their characters, their skills, ideas, while at the same time discovering the community and society's needs. Engage in different people, cultures, and of course, contribute more to the societies.
Studying at Universitas Ciputra means that you have to be active both inside and outside of the classroom. We are always being encouraged to be involved in the society, even on the international level. During our college life, we have a lot of opportunities to interact with people, to learn from a lot of experts, not to mention student activities and organizations that we can be part of. And on top of that, we also have the chance to network with a lot of partner companies and universities. Not only local opportunities, but the door to global interaction is open to us. Competitions, student exchange, and then exhibitions. And we also have this opportunity to work with top companies, like here with Apple Developer Academy. We always try and provide this perfect learning experience that is very friendly and supportive. This way, all of our graduates are ready to go out into the community and contribute to our beloved country.
One of my lifelong goals is to help others in any way I can, and I believe that one way to fulfill this goal is by contributing to my community. I'm a freshman here in Universitas Ciputra, and throughout my 1 year here, I've involved myself in so many activities, events, and student organizations. It's wonderful to see all the people that I meet, so diverse, so interested in what they're doing, to see so many creative minds come together in one place. And more than that, I get to introduce, learn, and talk with experts, be it from companies, from organizations, or even from other universities. I believe I have expanded my networking, my skills, and so much of my experience by just 1 year in Universitas Ciputra. It's amazing to see the people here, their passion, and what this university can bring out. I believe that I made no mistake in choosing Universitas Ciputra. There are so many opportunities waiting for me and my friends here in Universitas Ciputra.
cobain mie sedap selection Korean cheese noodle.
Cheesy and chewy noodle.
Udangnya pedas. Kamu mau? Sedapnya memang mie sedap selection Korean cheese noodle. So tempting, almost sedap.
Universitas Ciputra itu adalah curahan seluruh wisdom yang beliau sudah kumpulkan sepanjang hidupnya. Dia sangat ingin membagikan seluruh wisdom tersebut melalui Universitas Ciputra. Tidak heran jika hal ini kemudian beliau rasakan sebagai legacy. Beliau adalah orang yang berhati yang mulia. Beliau adalah orang baik, sangat mulia dalam ada pendidikan di Indonesia. Walaupun Tuhan memutuskan sambil beliau ketika lantas beliau mempunyai tindakan kita semua hati-hati kecil yang beliau mau jaga selama ini. Jadi kita bersatu menerangi jalan Indonesia yang baik.
Pemerintah telah menetapkan COVID-19 sebagai jenis penyakit dengan faktor risiko yang menimbulkan kedaruratan kesehatan masyarakat.
Teman-teman mahasiswa bisa segera menempati kursi yang tersedia karena sesaat lagi acara akan segera dimulai. Sekali lagi untuk teman-teman mahasiswa bisa segera menempati kursi yang telah tersedia karena sebentar lagi acara akan dimulai. Dan juga kepada Bapak Ibu dosen dari Universitas Ciputra bisa segera untuk menempati kursi yang telah tersedia karena sesaat lagi acara akan segera dimulai.
Destinasi wisata kalau IKEA udah di zaman dulu sampai sekarang nggak ini. Foto ngeliat. Iya. Tempat ngimpi. Tapi kan kalau lihat orang ramai kan lebih seneng ya daripada lihat masa sepi gitu kan. Either masalah belanja nggak belanja gitu kan. Tapi bisa
I'm going to be honest with you. I came to the Apple Developer Academy at UC with one goal. I want to be a world-class developer. Pretty straightforward, right? But it was only after joining that I understood what it means to be a real world-class developer. It's so much more. Let's say each one of these origamis represent an idea.
We want young people like us to have better financial responsibility. Our app helps millennials understand how to read company reports and make good decisions about the local Indonesian stock market.
We love Japan and we would love to be able to write kanji. So we made this fun app using machine learning to help people learn math faster.
Unlike my mom, I don't know how to pick the best fruit, so we create an app to choose fruit based on ripeness using artificial intelligence.
Anyone can use this app, even those with sight impairment.
And we have many more ideas.
Here, world-class developers are defined by their abilities to learn new skills and to solve real problems. So it's all about how you apply yourself and impact your community. Come and join Apple Developer Academy at UC. We'll take you on an exciting learning journey to craft your own career.
banyak hal terjadi, memberikan kesan yang terlewat begitu saja, atau membekas begitu dalam. Masa lalu menghadirkan memori, hari ini menghadirkan realita, but how about the future? I need the answer of the biggest question. Where do I go from here? I'm going to UC. Will you go with me?
Cobain Mix It Up Selection Korean Cheeseburger.
Kepada seluruh mahasiswa Universitas Ciputra dan juga Bapak Ibu dosen dari UC bisa segera menempati tempat duduk yang tersedia karena sesaat lagi acara akan segera dimulai. Terima kasih.
Sekali lagi kami boleh mengundang mahasiswa dari Universitas Ciputra, Bapak
Satu
Ibu dosen,
pertanyaan yang sering
untuk
kita
bisa
tanyakan.
menempati tempat yang telah tersedia
Apa yang
karena
sebenarnya
acara
ingin kita capai di masa
segera
depan?
dimulai.
Apakah
Terima kasih.
dengan mengabaikan kata hati? Menjalani apa yang sebenarnya bukan jadi pilihanmu sendiri. Mulai saat ini, pilihanmu adalah sesuatu yang sangat berarti. Berlari menuju peluang yang datang, buang semua ketakutan,
Mulai untuk mengejar jawaban.
rasakan pengalaman tak terlupakan di tempat di mana mimpi akan menjadi kenyataan. Mulai hari ini, jadilah dirimu sendiri. Inilah waktunya untuk menggali segala potensi dan temukan passionmu di sini. Universitas Ciputra, creating world-class entrepreneur.
Cobain Mix It Up Selection Korean Cheeseburger.
Sekali lagi kepada rekan-rekan Universitas Ciputra, Bapak Ibu
Kamu mau?
dosen dan teman-teman mahasiswa bisa segera
Mix
menempati
It Up
kursi yang
Selection Korean
tersedia di depan
Cheeseburger. So
panggung
empty, almost done.
karena saat lagi acara segera dimulai. Terima kasih.
많이 기대 주어서 나는 있잖아 정말 빈틈없이 행복해 너를 따라서 시간은 흐르고 멈춰 물끄러미 너를 들여다보고는 그것 말고는 아무것도 알 수 없어서 너의 모든 순간 그게 나였으면 좋겠다 생각만 해도 가슴이 char라 나는 온통 너로 많이 기대 주
Satu pertanyaan yang sering kita tanyakan. Apa yang sebenarnya ingin kita capai di masa depan? Apakah dengan mengabaikan kata hati? Menjalani apa yang sebenarnya bukan jadi pilihanmu sendiri. Mulai saat ini, pilihanmu adalah sesuatu yang sangat berarti. Berlari menuju peluang yang datang, buang semua ketakutan,
Mulai untuk mengejar jawaban.
rasakan pengalaman tak terlupakan di tempat di mana mimpi akan menjadi kenyataan. Mulai hari ini, jadilah dirimu sendiri. Inilah waktunya untuk menggali segala potensi dan temukan passionmu di sini. Universitas Ciputra, creating world-class entrepreneur.
teman-teman dari Universitas Ciputra, untuk siswa, dosen beserta staf yang telah berada di tempat ini, kami boleh persilahkan untuk bisa menempati kursi yang telah dipersiapkan. Tolong bisa penuhi kursi yang telah dipersiapkan karena acara akan segera dimulai. Terima kasih.
Cobain mie sedap selection Korean cheese noodle.
Cheesy and chewy noodle.
Udangnya pedas. Kamu mau? Sedapnya memang mie sedap selection Korean cheese noodle. So tempting, almost done.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Oval Atrium Ciputra World Surabaya. Tepuk tangan bisa diberikan, Bapak Ibu. Tanggal 2 Mei selalu kita peringati sebagai Hari Pendidikan Nasional. Peringatan Hari Pendidikan Nasional menjadi momentum bagi kita sebagai institusi pendidikan yang entrepreneurial untuk memaknainya dengan menyediakan pendidikan yang transformatif dan inovatif. Yaitu dengan memberikan kesempatan bagi peserta didik kita agar dapat mempersiapkan diri dengan mindset, attitude, skill, yang knowledge yang dibutuhkan di masa depan dan sesuai dengan passion yang dimiliki oleh siswa.
Universitas Ciputra Surabaya memperingati momen ini dengan meluncurkan 15 program inovatif dan pembukaan Art Explosion Online Design 2023 yang hari ini akan diresmikan oleh jajaran Rektorat dan Wakil Menteri Pariwisata dan Industri Kreatif Republik Indonesia, Ibu Angela Tanusudibyo.
Baik, Bapak Ibu tamu undangan, kami boleh persilakan Bapak Ibu tamu undangan untuk menunggu sesaat lagi sambil kita menunggu kehadiran dari Ibu Angela Tanusudibyo. Karena pada saat Ibu Angela akan hadir, Bapak Ibu tamu undangan akan kami minta untuk bisa berdiri untuk boleh nanti bersama-sama menyambut kehadiran dari Ibu Angela Tanusudibyo, which is Vice Minister of Tourism and Creative Economic of the Republic of Indonesia. Boleh bersama-sama kita masih menunggu informasi kehadiran dari Ibu Angela Tanusudibyo. Baik Bapak Ibu tamu undangan, kegiatan selama 3 hari ini dari tanggal 5 sampai 7 Mei 2023 full dengan aktivitas dan juga kegiatan yang seru-seru. Ini boleh diceritakan
Betul
sedikit?
sekali. Jadi nanti dari tanggal 5 sampai tanggal 7 Mei akan ada workshop Pak Charlie, kemudian ada seminar juga, kemudian ada interaktif booth, dan juga nanti pada tanggal 7 akan ada fashion show.
Dan juga nanti ada informasinya akan ada door prize, betul ya? Door prize berupa 2 handphone yang lagi hits sekarang.
Betul sekali.
Handphonenya adalah
iPhone 14 Pro dan Samsung Flip.
oh, tepuk tangan bisa diberikan, siapa tahu Anda yang berhasil bisa memperoleh 2 handphone hits itu. Ada cara dan juga mekanismenya. Nanti kita akan share ya bagaimana cara
Betul
untuk
sekali.
mendapatkan.
Untuk
Begitu.
informasinya sudah ada sebenarnya Pak Charlie.
sudah ada?
Bisa dicek di Instagram Universitas Ciputra.
Nah, jadi kalau belum follow bisa langsung ngecek cara untuk mendapatkan 2 handphone hits iPhone 14
Pro
dan
Samsung Flip.
Luar biasa. Dan juga Bapak Ibu tamu undangan pada kesempatan 5 sampai 7 Mei 2023 itu kita berada di atrium oval ini, kemudian ada di linear juga di mana terdapat booth-booth yang menggambarkan atau merefleksikan 15 program inovatif yang ditawarkan oleh Universitas Ciputra Surabaya. Jadi Bapak Ibu tamu undangan, kami boleh persilakan Anda untuk boleh keliling dari booth-booth yang sudah ada.
Betul sekali.
Khususnya untuk bagi ada teman-teman dari calon mahasiswa juga, teman-teman SMA yang juga hadir beserta dengan Bapak Ibu gurunya, boleh keliling ke stand-stand, boleh tanya nih, kira-kira program apa yang telah ditawarkan oleh Universitas Ciputra Surabaya. Betul ya?
Betul sekali.
Oke, selain itu kita juga ada bazar ya, food and beverage.
Yes, kita juga ada banyak sekali pilihan makanannya Pak Charlie.
Betul.
Ada di sisi linier yang bersebelahan dengan pameran dari teman-teman VCD.
Betul, jadi kalau sudah jalan-jalan ke mall, ada aktivitas bazar atau kegiatan, kalau nggak nyoba beli makan, beli minum itu kayaknya ada yang kurang ya.
Afdol gitu ya.
Jadi pokoknya aktivitas 3 hari ini akan luar biasa. Di antara itu juga akan ada games, betul ya? Games apa aja nih kalau bisa di-share mungkin?
Wah itu rahasia dong, rahasia kita nanti.
Oke, baik, jadi nanti kita akan informasikan kayaknya di akhir acara kali ya.
Betul sekali.
Games apa, pokoknya terkait dengan yang hits saat ini.
Yep.
Ya, games
seru lah pokoknya ya, game yang sangat seru. Dan juga Pak Charlie, besok di hari Sabtu, 15 inovatif program dari UC akan unjuk bakat di panggung ini.
Unjuk bakat.
Betul sekali.
Artinya?
Akan menampilkan yang terbaik dari fakultas mereka.
Oke, baik. Jadi akan ada showcase di mana nanti dari setiap fakultas yang ada akan menampilkan kayaknya sebuah kegiatan atau aktivitas yang menunjukkan provinsi dari masing-masing fakultas. Betul ya?
Betul sekali.
Dan nantinya informasi yang seru banget, akan ada fashion show.
Yang ada gestarnya Pak Charlie.
Gestar. Jadi kalau biasanya kan kalau fashion show itu yang membawakan adalah model,
betul
ya, mahasiswa. Dan kali ini kita punya fashion show yang akan dibawakan oleh special guest stars. Siapakah orangnya masih menjadi rahasia.
Betul
ya?
sekali.
Karena penampilan ini luar biasa. Itu kapan? Besok atau lusa untuk fashion
show-nya?
Fashion show
tanggal 7 Pak Charlie.
Oh, oke, tanggal 7. Nanti akan ada fashion show yang luar biasa. Kemudian ada pengundian juga dari 2 handphone hits tadi, iPhone dan juga Samsung. Siapa tahu Anda berhasil memperoleh 2 handphone itu. Kalau kita sebagai MC atau panitia bisa ikut juga?
Tentu tidak. Tentu tidak bisa Pak Charlie.
Oke, baik kalau begitu. Padahal sudah mau ikut nih ya. Oke, baik Bapak Ibu, kita masih menunggu tentunya. Dan jangan lupa penampilan yang luar biasa, kesempatan yang luar biasa yang Bapak Ibu hadir pada kesempatan siang hari ini bisa menyaksikan momen yang juga luar biasa dari acara kita 15 Innovative Programs dari Universitas Ciputra Surabaya. Di mana pada kesempatan ini selain memperkenalkan 15 program inovatif, akan ada juga pembukaan Art Explosion Outlining Design 2023. Apa sih itu sebenarnya? Boleh share sedikit enggak? Nah itu merupakan aktivitas dari rekan-rekan dari VCD, betul ya?
Betul sekali.
Dimana pada kesempatan ini, pada biasanya ya, Selama 2 tahun belakangan ini, VCD, Visual Communication Design dari UC telah mengadakan pameran secara virtual. Dan akhirnya di tahun 2023 akan meningkatkan skala pameran menjadi pameran internasional yang diadakan di Ciputra World Surabaya.
Bapak Ibu yang terhormat, dimohon berdiri karena sesaat lagi kita akan menyambut Vice Minister of Tourism and Creative Economy of the Republic of Indonesia and Deputy Chairman for Digital Economy and Creative Product from Tourism and Creative Economy Agency.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ibu Angela Tanusudibyo, Vice Minister of Tourism and Creative Economy of the Republic of Indonesia.
And welcome Bapak Muhammad Nail Elhiman, Deputy Chairman for Digital Economy and Creative Product from Tourism and Creative Economy Agency.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm applause for Ibu Angela Tanusudibyo, Vice Minister of Tourism and Creative Economy of the Republic of Indonesia. Bapak Ibu tamu undangan, kami boleh persilahkan seluruh tamu undangan untuk boleh bangkit berdiri. Bapak Ibu tamu undangan, kami boleh persilahkan untuk boleh bangkit berdiri. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand up.
Menyanyikan Indonesia Raya dilanjutkan dengan himne Universitas Ciputra.
Singing National Anthem of Indonesia, Indonesia Raya, followed by the hymn of Universitas Ciputra.
Bapak Ibu hadirin dimohon mengepalkan tangan kanan dan diletakkan di dada kiri.
Bagi generasi muda bangsa Indonesia
Bapak Ibu tamu undangan dipersilahkan duduk kembali.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated.
Bapak Ibu tamu undangan, kita saksikan penampilan dari Big Dance Crew.
Ladies and gentlemen, please enjoy the performance from Big Dance Crew, Universitas Ciputra, Surabaya.
Enjoy, respect, and God bless.
It's hard to be different. It's hard to, put yourself out there. Like, that's why not everyone does it. But I think there's a lot of power that comes from really owning who you are. That sort of proves to you, you're right, you're doing the right thing, like follow your dreams.
It's a woman's problem.
Your opinion is actually none of my business. So if you want to say things about me, if you want to judge me, at the end of the day, that's not on me, that's on you.
The size of your dreams must always exceed your current capacity to achieve them. If your dreams do not scare you, they are not big enough. If you start off with a small dream, you may not have much left when it is fulfilled, because along the way, life will test your dreams and make demands on you. Just because something has not been done as yet, doesn't mean it cannot be done.
Ladies.
Tambourines moving quicker, yeah, I'm shaking down the town, get the picture.
If you ain't a twin, I'm still children.
You ready?
Baby, it's you. You're the one I love. All the single ladies. Now put your hands up. Up in the up. Representing all the women. Salute. Representing all the women. Salute.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to welcome Ibu Angela Tanusudibyo, Vice Minister of Tourism and Creative Economy of the Republic of Indonesia.
And welcome Bapak Neil L. Himan, Deputy Chairman for Digital Economy and Creative from Product Tourism and Creative Economy Agency.
Welcome for Ibu Francisca Lingga, General Manager Ciputra World Surabaya.
Welcome Bapak Dr. Insinyur Denny Bermandus, Magister Manajemen Executive Board Universitas Ciputra.
Welcoming Bapak D. Agung Krispi Mandoyo, Direktur Ciputra Group.
Welcome Bapak Insinyur Yohanes Soma Wiharja, Magister of Science, Rektor Universitas Ciputra beserta jajarannya.
Welcoming Ms. Dirna Ki Junchen from TAR UMT Malaysia, Dean Faculty of Communication and Creative Industry and team.
Welcome Ms. Elina Hasim, Multimedia University Malaysia and team.
Welcoming Mr. Robert Kip, Associate Professor, Visual Communication, Birmingham City University, United Kingdom.
Welcome Mr. Antonius Malambarus, World Creativity and Innovation Week International Advisory Board Member. Welcome Ms. Sandra Vivier, Director of Institut Frances Surabaya.
Welcoming Kria Global Team. Kepada Bapak Ibu GM dari Grup Ciputra, selamat siang juga.
Dan selamat datang juga kepada Bapak Ibu Rektorat, Dekan, Kaprodi, dan dosen.
Dan tentunya kepada mahasiswa dan calon mahasiswa beserta Bapak dan Ibu Guru dan seluruh hadirin pada kesempatan siang hari ini, selamat siang semuanya. Once again, we would like to welcome you all in the event of launching of 15 innovative programs Universitas Ciputra and opening of Art Explosion Outlining Design 2023. For the first opening remark, I would like to invite all the guests, focus your attention to the screen because we are going to watch the video from Professor Faculty of Creative Multimedia, Multimedia University Malaysia, Professor of Technology Specialist, Dr. Neo Mai. Please enjoy.
Hello and greetings from Malaysia. More specifically, from the Faculty of Creative Multimedia, Multimedia University, here inside the Jaya Selangor, one of the two campuses of the university, the other campus being in London. A very good day to everyone here, to the VIPs, the distinguished guests, the organizing committee and team from the Universitas Ciputra, colleagues, students, and friends. On behalf of our MMU team, I would like to say that we are indeed very honored and happy to be participating in today's event. When we were invited last year to be part of this extraordinary collaboration, we were intrigued at the prospect of celebrating Earth Day and Innovation Day together. And the idea of bringing students from 5 universities to work together towards one goal was an opportunity that we simply wanted to be a part of. Fast forward to 8 months later, and this project has culminated in a series of events that have not only strengthened our collaborative ties, but also given our students the experience and exposure that they need to be able to cope with today's workplace demands. We have watched our students' project journeys, from ideation to conceptualization to creation and implementation, and we are so very proud of them and their successes. It has been a challenging journey for them, but one that has given them so much pride and a sense of achievement and fun. They have come today to showcase their output in this international collaborative platform, and they represent the best of SCM and MMU. There are many of us here today, online and in person, who are here to support them and the event, to learn from our colleagues and peers, to establish deeper ties and relationships for further collaboration, and to simply enjoy the fruits of a long collaborative effort. Many thanks to the organizing committee from Universitas Ciputra for their tireless efforts to putting together this event and the preceding events leading up to today, to Dr. Chris and Ray for their leadership and direction, and to all members of the participating 5 universities from 4 countries: Universitas Ciputra Indonesia, Birmingham City University UK, MMU and TARU Malaysia, and Dalian University Taiwan, for the strong and enjoyable collaboration. Thank you again for having us here today, and I wish everyone an enjoyable and productive visit. Thank you.
We would like to invite Associate Professor Visual Communication, Birmingham City University, United Kingdom, Mr. Robert Gibb.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm applause for Mr. Robert Gibb.
Can you all hear me now? You can hear me now, brilliant. Thank you. I've actually made some notes, so it's quite handy just to say. So I'm going to read a little bit from this and then I'm going to improvise, which will be useful. So the first thing I'd like to do is that's a bit loud. I'd like to say thank you to the dancers. That was really quite amazing. I've not seen that for such a long time. Brilliant. I'd also like to thank the Vice Minister of Tourism for being here and supporting this event, which is really quite interesting. And I'd also like to thank Christian for all the help that he's done, and Dr. Astrid, who is here. You're there. Oh, brilliant. Just for all your help involved in this. And also I'd like to thank Johannes, who's the rector of the university. Also, I'd like to thank Denny, who's the executive director as well. And more importantly, it's been an honor being involved in this project. And it's been a privilege to be part of a project that basically, as the last professor was saying, is international. And it's also having students talking to each other in different universities across the world. And one of the interesting things that we found was that when we gave them the options of 17 sustainable goals, we expected they're going to choose 17 sustainable goals. And across all 5 institutes, there were 3 that almost all students from different cultural backgrounds drew together. They were pollution, climate change, and life underwater. So when you come to see the exhibition later, you're going to find that all our young people are more interested in those areas than some other areas. And just by simply saying, well, actually, be part of this joint exhibition and choose the themes that are relevant to your growth, your future, your children's future, grandchildren's future, they chose 3 main ones. And I actually find that really quite fascinating that that's what they chose to do. I'd also like to thank everyone involved in organising this, because this event has taken months to come together, and for it to run so smoothly in such a period of time over a few days is really, well, it's quite an effort, and I thank everyone for that. Brilliant. I hope that in future institutes can actually be involved in more collaborations of this nature, but not just for the institutions, because that's useful, but for the development of our children, our students, to see where they can go in the future, and how essentially we can work globally together across the same issues that are affecting all of us. And there's no way around the fact that they do affect us. So I'd just like to finish by saying thank you all for being here. This has been really inspirational for me. The last 3 or 4 days have been, I'd have to say, enlightening. I've learned new things, and I like to learn, and I'm old. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Robert Gibb. Now I'd like to welcome Ms. Dirna Ki Junchen, Dean Faculty of Communication and Creative Industry, Tunku Abdul Rahman University of Management and Technology, Malaysia, to share your opening greets.
Thank you MC. Selamat siang semua. Boleh dengar ya? A very good afternoon to distinguished guests, Ibu Angela Herliani, Vice Minister of Tourism and Creative Economy of the Republic of Indonesia, Rector, Dosen, and students of CU, ladies and gentlemen. It is an honor to be here today to represent Tunku Abdul Rahman University of Management and Technology. In short, we call ourselves TAUMT from Malaysia. For this art explosion event. We at TAUMT are very honored to be invited to this event and the Earth Project. And we find that this project which bring 5 of the universities from Malaysia, Indonesia, Taiwan, and also UK have established a very strong working relationship among our staff and also our students, and in addressing the issues on SDG. Now, the world is facing many significant challenges, and such as climate changes, poverty, inequality, and the health crisis we are currently experiencing. And these complex challenges requires innovative and also cooperative solutions that can be achieved through cross-sectoral partnership and collaboration. We strongly believe that universities have a central and also a role in addressing these challenges. Now we have the capacity to provide new knowledge, expertise, and also research on global issues, as well as to create opportunities for students to learn about the SDG, all right, and how they can contribute to achieve them. Through this collaboration, it also allows for the sharing of resources, expertise, and also knowledge to develop sustainable solutions that have a positive socio-economic impact on our society. We hope through this collaboration as well, universities can contribute to the development of new technologies and also policies that promote sustainable development and the achievement of the SDG. Moreover, we find that this partnership between the universities and communities can help develop sustainable and equitable solutions to the local challenges faced by those communities. So in conclusion, universities play a very important role in achieving the SDG, and collaboration between universities is the key to addressing these significant challenges. Let us work together in promoting interdisciplinary collaboration and also exchange of knowledge. So with that, I would like to thank Ciputra University for inviting TAUMT in this collaborative project. Terima kasih.
Thank you so much, Ms. Dirnaki. And we would like to welcome World Creativity and Innovation Week International Advisory Board Member, Mr. Antonius Malambarus.
Check. Okay. All right. They are guests of honor, Vice Minister of Tourism and Creative Economy of Republic of Indonesia, Ms. Angela Herliani Tanusudibyo, Mr. Robert from UK, and Ms. Diana from TAUMT, Dr. Mas Sahidayana Mokhtar from University of Malaya, and all representatives of Minister of Education from Malaysia, and then CML, Southeast Asia Minister of Education Organization, and then the big family of Ciputra University. I am representing World Creativity and Innovation World in Asia. I represent all the representatives and also the ambassadors in Asia to promote and also to make a campaign about creativity and innovation. A United Nations recognized event is celebrated between April 15, the birthday of Leonardo da Vinci, and April 21st, World Creativity and Innovation Day. So that's actually the idea. A United Nations International Day of Observance focused on using creativity and innovation to achieve the UN SDG as well. So I think we are in the same line talking about the SDG so far. And I'm grateful to be here to see how creativity and innovation being celebrated here right now in Ciputra World. And also I would like to thank Ciputra University for initiating this event, for accommodating all young generation to show their passion and talent through art explosion. This year, one of the World Creativity and Innovation Day concern is collaboration. We are in the period of collaboration where people work together, solve the problem through innovation. So I would like to let all people here to make this event Art Explosion as a part of the platform to bring collaboration across level and background. Congratulations, Art Explosion, as one of the World Creativity and Innovation Week celebration, as posted on the website wciw.org to celebrate creativity and innovation together with 160 countries this year. Thank you for celebrating and bring the spirit of creativity and innovation during Art Explosion. All the best. Thank you so much.
Mr. Antonius, please stay on stage. Please stay on stage. I would like to invite and welcoming Miss Eliana Hashim, representing Professor Dr. Neomai, Mr. Robert Gibb, Miss Dirna Ki Junchan, to come on stage to receive memento from Bapak Christian Anggrianto, PhD. Ini merupakan ucapan terima kasih kepada tamu-tamu VIP yang telah hadir pada kesempatan hari ini.
Nah, Bapak Ibu, hoodie yang menjadi cenderamata ini merupakan karya alumni dari VCD, yaitu Ferdinand Leonardi, yang sekarang menjadi illustration artist dan desainnya sudah menembus internasional. Ilustrasi yang ada di jaket limited edition ini menggunakan teknologi AR, Augmented Reality, yang saat di-scan dengan filter Instagram akan muncul animasinya.
So this memento is the creation from VCD UC alumni Ferdinand Leonardi, in which he's now becoming an international illustration artist. Some of his work already going international. So if you can see from the illustration of this limited edition jacket, it used augmented reality technology. We take a photo first? Okay, sure. So if you are scanning the logo with Instagram filter, moving animation will be appeared. Later on you can check by yourself. Okay, take a photo first, Bapak Ibu. Okay, using three. Okay. Okay, yeah, it's quite difficult. One hand holding the jacket and the other hand choosing Salam Entrepreneur. Once again, we'll take a group photos. 3, 2, 1. Thank you so much. All the VIP guests, I would like to welcome you again to the Sepak Christian. Please stay on stage to provide your welcoming speech. And once again, thank you so much for the VIP speakers.
Good afternoon, everyone. Yes, please bear with me because I have lots of people to mention here. So, first of all, I want to say good afternoon, Ms. Angela, Vice Minister of Tourism and Creative Economy of the Republic of Indonesia, and also Mr. Neil, Mr. Johannes Soma, our Director, Mr. Danny, Ms. Astrid, also the GM of Ciputra Groups, also our distinguished guests who just joined me in front, Robert Gibbs from BCU, Ms. Dirna from TAR UMT, also her team, Dr. Candy and Dr. Oliver, also Dr. Mai, and also Dr. Elena from Multimedia University. I greet you all. I'm very happy to found you here. Also, our long partner from Institut Francais Indonesia, Ms. Sandra Vivier and Mr. David Pata. So, friends, COVID pandemic has shown us that the one who can survive is the one with wit, with innovation and with creativity. People's perspective on design has changed forever, and design has been considered as part of everyday essential. And today, with the spirit of integrity, professionalism, and entrepreneurship, we're presenting to you our design project exhibition. The final project exhibition for facilitating our students to launch their creative business ideas as an answer to the pre-COVID market needs. Also, joint project exhibition as a medium to communicate sustainable development goals to society, and students project exhibition to allow students to build their sense of pride as young designers. I believe we as designers must take a higher role to use design as a medium to build a better future. Educate people, create changes, and lead by innovation. That's why we gather partners from who have the same vision with us, with the main issue, how design can help to make the world a better place. I want to say thank you for our partner from Birmingham, TAR UMT, DAIE, MMU, for sticking with us through the thick and thin, igniting and taming our wild ideas with a long and fruitful collaboration in the future. Design is not just about creating aesthetic visuals, but it is a process to understand what people need and bring a solution for them. This is a spirit that we're nurturing here at Visual Communication Design Universitas Ciputra. Right now, we are facilitating a new generation of designers that has the heart of entrepreneurs to use their skills to develop innovation. Today, we congratulate 50 students of the class of 2019 that have created their innovative business ideas. May your future endeavor be bright. I also want to say thank you for all the guests of honor for your support, colleague and friend, also the lecturer and committee, the committee who look like zombies, so ugly today because they haven't slept for a few days. I thank you so much for your effort. This event wouldn't be successful without your support. Thank you all.
Thank you, Pak Christian. And next, we would like to welcome Dean of School of Creative Industry, Dr. Astrid.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, students, lecturers, and salute guests. The School of Creative Industry is highly honored for having you, Ms. Angela Kanusudibyo, as our Minister of Tourism and Creative Economy, Directors, Mr. Yohanes Somawiharja, and also the Vice Rectors, Professor Christina Utami, Prof. Jenny, and also Pak Victor, our Ciputra Group team. Thank you very much for your support. Academic partners from Birmingham City University, MMU Malaysia, TAR UMT, and also IV Friends. Hello, Ms. Sandra. And also our industry partners and contributors. I am very pleased to open this exhibition of students' final projects and also the students' projects for international design. In here, we see that we have a students project from 5 reputable universities from 4 countries, interactive installation, and also local business bazaar. With all of this, I strongly believe that our lecturers and students will not only learn about the design knowledge, but they will also learn about the cultural exchange. I do appreciate this event since it gives us opportunity for international academic mobility, and also we have to activate the local and international creative industry. At the same time, in this event, Universitas Ciputra will also launch 15 programs. And I would like to congratulate Universitas Ciputra for the 15 programs and also this exhibition. And to all of guests, I want to say, please enjoy our exhibition and also enjoy your time in Surabaya. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Astrid. And next, we would like to welcome Rektor Universitas Ciputra, Insinyur Yohanes Samawiharja, Magister of Science.
Terima kasih, Pak. Terima kasih, Pak. Bapak, Ibu, dan saudara sekalian, selamat siang dan salam sehat untuk kita semua. Saya ingin addressing orang-orang tua yang ada di sini, calon-calon mahasiswa. Let me speak in bahasa Indonesia. Saya ingin menyampaikan selamat datang kepada para undangan yang terhormat, Ibu Angela Tanisudibyo, Wakil Menteri Parekraf Republik Indonesia, kepada Bapak Neil Hilman, terima kasih untuk kedatangannya Ibu dan Bapak, kepada Pak Denny sebagai Eksekutif Board dari Universitas Ciputra, Ibu Lingga, Pak Pimo, siapa lagi nih? Yang dari grup ya, dari grup Ciputra, selamat datang, terima kasih untuk supportnya, ada Bu Feni di sana dan sebagainya. Kepada Ibu Dianaki dari TAR UMT, kemudian Ibu Elina Hashim, kepada Bapak Antonius Malambarus, kepada Ibu Sandra Vibier, Kriatim, para dekan dan kaprokdi, dan tentunya seluruh mahasiswa dan hadirin sekalian. Bapak Ibu, atas nama Universitas Ciputra, saya mengucapkan selamat datang kepada Bapak Ibu sekalian, dan terima kasih yang sebesar-besarnya untuk hadir pada acara ini. Kami Universitas Ciputra pada hari ini ada acara Adpulsion, tapi selain itu juga launching 15 program baru, 15 program yang inovatif, Bapak Ibu sekalian. Nah, Bapak Ibu sekalian, zaman kita kuliah dulu ya, mungkin kita itu saya address saya ya, mungkin 1, 2, 3 dekade yang lalu, saya kira kuliah itu lebih simpel ya daripada sekarang ya. Kita ini ya belajar begitu ya, tapi sejak kemajuan teknologi katakanlah 10 tahun terakhir ini, saya kira kita semua dipaksa untuk berubah, benar-benar dipaksa untuk berubah. Nah, salah satu yang dipaksa untuk berubah, saya kira Bapak Ibu sekalian, itu adalah nomenklatur dari ilmu pengetahuan dan program studi. Ya. Ini saya kira sejak berapa tahun yang lalu Bapak Presiden kita tuh sudah mendesak terus ya, universitas buka program kok itu saja begitu ya. Ini memang luar biasa ya Bapak Ibu sekalian, kita rasakan bahwa program-program studi kita itu sangat terlambat merespon perkembangan yang ada di bidang kerja maupun profesi, kita sangat ketinggalan. Nanti sekarang dipaksa untuk berubah. Nah Bapak Ibu dan saudara sekalian, kalau zaman dulu itu orang jadi dosen itu atau universitas itu mengajarkan konten. Kalau zaman sekarang rasanya sudah tidak demikian lagi. Bapak Ibu dan saudara sekalian dengan mudah itu bisa dapat konten di internet, mudah sekali. Jadi sebetulnya yang perlu diajarkan itu bukan lagi untuk ngapalin konten-konten itu yang memang sudah ada di sana. Tapi sebetulnya kemampuan itu adalah pertama untuk mengidentifikasi seseorang itu bisa kontribut apa di dalam kebutuhan atau masalah yang ada di masyarakat. Dan kemudian kemampuan yang kedua itu adalah untuk dia bisa mengambil konten yang spesifik sesuai dengan kebutuhannya dari internet. Dan kemudian dari situ dia akan mengkonstruksi sebuah keahlian atau kompetensi untuk supaya dia bisa berkiprah di dunianya nanti. Jadi saya kira seperti itu Bapak Ibu sekalian. dan keahlian dosen ya, dan role-nya dosen itu tidak lagi hanya seperti dulu pengajar konten, tapi juga dosen itu menjadi guide, tapi juga selain itu dosen itu menjadi inspirator untuk para mahasiswa. Nah ini dunia itu sudah berubah seperti itu Bapak Ibu sekalian. Nah saya kira dengan latar belakang seperti itu, Universitas Ciputra ini menawarkan 15 program inovatif baru untuk Bapak Ibu serta saudara sekalian. Ya. Jadi kita semuanya paham ya bahwa profesi itu berubah cepat sekali. Jadi bagaimana caranya kita bisa menawarkan program-program di mana mahasiswa itu bisa lebih fokus di dalam studinya untuk juga mengkonstruksi pengetahuan-pengetahuan mereka yang nanti akan sangat terpakai di dunia kerja pada nantinya. Nah saya kira itu yang sebetulnya kita ingin tawarkan pada hari ini. Bapak, Ibu, dan saudara sekalian, saya kira Universitas Ciputra punya pengalaman, kita universitas yang sebenarnya masih baru. Kita 17 tahun, tapi saya kira saya sangat mengapresiasi rekan-rekan saya yang bekerja begitu keras ya, untuk supaya Universitas Ciputra ini bisa memiliki keunikan dan juga kelebihan-kelebihan yang sebetulnya bisa didapatkan dari kemudahannya itu ya. Kita lebih punya agility, bisa melihat kebutuhan dengan lebih clear begitu ya Bapak Ibu sekalian. Universitas Ciputra ini dari pertama kali didirikan, kita itu sudah mengkombinasikan, mengoperasikan pendidikan itu dengan kolaborasi yang baik antara praktisi dan akademik dan akademisi. Saya kira itu salah satu kelebihan yang luar biasa ya. Di Universitas Ciputra itu banyak sekali praktisi in residence. Ya, saya kira konsep seperti ini di Indonesia baru ada di Universitas Ciputra. Ini salah satu yang luar biasa. Secara akademis pun, Bapak Ibu sekalian, dari tahun 2017 ini kita sudah terakreditasi A. Itu adalah universitas yang termuda ini ya, yang bisa terakreditasi demikian tinggi. Kemudian dari sisi klaster penelitian, kita ini masuk klaster mandiri, itu adalah klaster tertinggi di bidang penelitian. Jadi kita ini secara akademis juga sangat kuat. Nah universitas seperti itu Bapak sekalian, kemudian juga didukung oleh komitmen dari grup Ciputra, satu grup besar yang memiliki resources dan network yang luar biasa. Nah saya kira ini adalah tempat yang sangat sesuai untuk bisa melaunching program seperti ini secara berhasil. Oleh sebab itu Bapak dan Ibu dan saudara sekalian, saya mengencourage Bapak Ibu sekalian, mari bergabung dengan Universitas Ciputra. Nah Bapak Ibu, saya pada kesempatan ini juga ingin mengucapkan terima kasih kepada para partner kami. Thank you for our partners from Malaysia and also from England. Thank you very much for joining us in this program of Art Potion. Dan juga terima kasih banyak untuk rekan-rekan marketing yang sudah setup ini semua juga, sehingga acara ini bisa berlangsung dengan baik. Nah Bapak Ibu sekalian, saya kira itu yang ingin saya sampaikan, dan kiranya Tuhan menyertai kita sekalian. Terima kasih.
Terima kasih Pak Yohanes. Bapak Ibu undangan, kita akan menyaksikan pemutaran video yang berisi kata sambutan dari Bapak Emil Dardak selaku Wakil Gubernur Jawa Timur karena beliau berhalangan hadir pada siang hari ini.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera untuk kita semua. Saya Emil Dardak, Wakil Gubernur Jawa Timur, mengucapkan selamat untuk diselenggarakannya peringatan Hari Kreativitas dan Inovasi Senia serta Hari Pendidikan Nasional yang diselenggarakan oleh Universitas Ciputra di Cipta Mall Surabaya. Pameran ini yang saya pahami melibatkan bukan saja pameran karya dari desain komunikasi visual atau visual communication design yang bertajuk VCD Online 2023 Art Solution, tetapi juga ada International Creativity and Innovation Award 15 jurusan baru yang ada di Universitas Ciputra, Live Your Passion. Saya benar-benar terkesan dengan bagaimana Universitas Ciputra membangun sebuah konsep pendidikan tinggi yang berorientasi pada lulusan yang bisa berdikari, lulusan yang bisa mandiri, menciptakan lapangan kerja bukan mencari lowongan kerja. Ini benar-benar terlihat bagaimana keberanian kampus ini untuk mengeksplorasi bukan saja konten atau kurikulum baru, tetapi juga bagi jurusan-jurusan baru. Dan mudah-mudahan acara ini bisa mengajak sukses dan semakin memajukan generasi muda dan mahasiswa-mahasiswi kita yang dari Jawa Timur. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Ladies and gentlemen, now I would like to invite Vice Minister of Tourism and Creative Economy of the Republic of Indonesia, Ibu Angela Tanusudibyo.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Shalom, salam sejahtera bagi kita semua. Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, salam kebajikan. Yang saya hormati Bapak Denny Bernardus, Eksekutif Board Ciputra University, Bapak Yohanes Somawiharja, Rektor dari Ciputra University, Bapak Christian Anggrianto, Head of Visual Communication Design, dan keluarga besar dari Ciputra Group, Ibu Lingga, dan yang tentunya saya tidak bisa sebutkan satu persatu, semua all distinguished guests from universities from Malaysia, Taiwan, and UK. Pada siang hari ini saya diminta untuk berbicara dalam bahasa Inggris, jadi perkenankan saya untuk melanjutkan dalam bahasa Inggris. Good afternoon everyone, it's good to be back in Surabaya. This is actually my hometown, and I just came from my grandma's house earlier this morning, having her one of her best cooking. And for our distinguished guests today who came far away from home, I hope you can find the time to eat the best local food here, because I think Surabaya is one of Indonesia's best culinary tourism. Ladies and gentlemen, friends, we are here today to celebrate World Creativity and Innovation Day and National Education Day. And I'm excited to be here today to witness and support the works of young creative talents in Surabaya, because they are the future of our industry. Today, Indonesia acknowledges 17 subsectors of creative industries, from fashion, craft, culinary, mobile app, game, music, film, animation and video, architecture, interior design, visual communication design, photography, publishing, advertising, television and radio, performing arts, fine arts, and product design. Creative industries have been an integral part of the Indonesian economy. And as we recover from the pandemic, the creative economy sector plays an even more important role because of its inclusive nature. Anybody, anywhere, they can contribute and create economic value. Last year, the Indonesian creative industry absorbed more than 22 million jobs and exported more than $25 billion of local creative goods. This year, we target of an export value more than $26 billion. And to support the potential growth in the creative sector, Indonesia has a regulation breakthrough last year in 2022 with the issuance of Government Regulation number 24 on the creative economy financing, IP marketing, creative economy infrastructures, and incentives. The creative industries are also experiencing a new trend of ESG practices as the younger generation of creative talents in Indonesia become more empathetic in social, cultural, and environmental sustainability issues. And of course, everyone here, we as educators, as regulators, we need to support these young talents, these young creative talents, and nurture them. That is why I'm here today to support the Art Explosion event, and I do hope this is just one of many more creative collaborative events in Surabaya, because I believe this is where creative talents will create positive impacts for creative industry nationwide. Thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Om Santi 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 Om.
Ibu Angela, please stay on stage. Once again, please give a warm applause for Ibu Angela Thanusudibyo. I would like to invite Bapak Denny Bernardus and Bapak Yohanes Somawiharja to come on stage to share the memento from Universitas Ciputra, Surabaya.
Nah, sekali lagi Bapak Ibu, hoodie yang menjadi cendera mata merupakan karya alumni VCD Ferdinand Linardi yang sekarang menjadi illustration artist dan desainnya sudah menembus internasional. Ilustrasi yang ada di jaket limited edition ini menggunakan teknologi AR, augmented reality, yang saat di-scan dengan filter Instagram akan muncul animasinya.
Okay, so once again, this is the product of VCD UC alumni Ferdinand Linardi, who is becoming already an international artist. Okay. Masih di panggung utama.
Kami juga mengundang kepada Ibu Lingga Francisca, Ibu Astrid dan Bapak Christian Anggrianto untuk bergabung dengan kami di panggung karena kami akan melakukan prosesi launching. Prosesi launching ini dilakukan dengan meletakkan telapak tangan di layar LED yang posisinya akan diarahkan oleh tim dari IO dan tim acara.
Ya, jadi sekali lagi Bapak Ibu tamu undangan, kita akan segera memulai launching dari 15 innovative programs and also art explosion dengan cara tangan dari Bapak Ibu nanti akan diletakkan di layar, ya. Boleh mungkin melihat layar. Then you can put the palm of your hands to touch the screen. Nah, silakan Bapak Ibu mungkin boleh meletakkan yang di sebelah kiri dari tangan kiri, yang di sebelah kanan dari tangan kanan. Wajah tetap boleh arah ke depan, nanti kita hitung sama-sama. Countdown untuk launching dari kegiatan pada kesempatan siang hari ini. Tim media boleh mempersiapkan diri, boleh sama-sama kita mempersiapkan countdown untuk kegiatan launching dari aktivitas siang hari ini. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And this is the launching of 15 innovative programs Universitas Ciputra and opening of art exhibition Art Creativity Design 2023.
Bapak Ibu kami mohon untuk tetap berada di atas panggung. Kami juga mengundang Bapak Muhammad Nurul.
Kami boleh mengundang Rektorat Universitas Ciputra, Pak Victor, Prof. Utami dan juga Bu Jenny. And then we also like to invite Miss Dirna Ki Junchen, Miss Helena Hashim, Mr. Robert Gibb and Mr. Antonius Malambarum to take a group photo. So once again I would like to invite all the VIP guests to come on stage. All together we are going to take a group photos. All the media, if you want to take a pictures, to take a photo, please do so. Bapak Ibu apabila ingin mengambil foto, kami boleh persilakan mengambil foto dari seluruh speaker pada kesempatan siang hari ini. Dan sekali lagi tentunya ini merupakan acara yang luar biasa ya. Launching dari 15 program inovatif dari Universitas Ciputra.
Dan juga opening dari Art Explosion Outline Design 2023.
Jadi kita punya kegiatan selama 3 hari dari tanggal 5 sampai dengan 7 Mei 2023. Setelah ini kita akan share ya kira-kira apa saja sih kegiatannya.
Betul sekali.
Oke. Saya persilakan Bapak Ibu untuk bisa kembali ke kursinya. So once again, thank you so much for attending this amazing event. Yeah. I would like to persilakan to enjoy Ibu Angela Tanusudibyo untuk bisa mengunjungi exhibition yang berada di Ciputra World Surabaya, baik di Oval dan juga Linear Atrium. So ladies and gentlemen, this is the end of the events of today. My name is Charlie.
My name is Safira.
Thank you so much and salam entrepreneur. Baik Bapak Ibu, terima kasih atas kehadiran Anda pada kesempatan siang hari ini. Tapi acara masih belum selesai. Kita masih punya banyak sekali aktivitas dan juga banyak sekali kegiatan selama 3 hari ini. Jadi pastinya jangan kemana-mana dulu. Hari ini kita masih saksikan Ibu Wakil Menteri masih mengunjungi stand-stand ya. Dari atas panggung kita bisa kelihatan. Kayaknya yang pertama kali dikunjungi adalah School of Tourism. Jadi Bapak Ibu yang bertugas di tempat jangan kemana-mana. Kehadiran dari Ibu Angela itu merupakan sesuatu yang luar biasa.
Betul sekali.
Harus sudah siap-siap apa yang akan diinformasikan. Dan juga tentunya untuk seluruh petugas, nah petugas ya, kru atau yang bertanggung jawab di pameran jangan kemana-mana, siap-siap karena mungkin Anda akan dikunjungi oleh Ibu Angela. Jadi kalau misalkan mau ngambil foto boleh ya, kayaknya candid aja ya. Jadi pas Ibu Angela mampir ke tempat Anda, boleh sedikit senyum-senyum sambil ngambil foto, iya kan? Mumpung ada kesempatan nih, kalau enggak nanti kan enggak akan kesempatan 2 kali nih bisa dikunjungi oleh Ibu Angela. Betul kan? Nah, kemudian harap siap-siap kita akan mendeskripsikan aktivitas kegiatan pada 3 hari.
Hari ke depan, betul
nah,
ya?
Betul. Jadi sebenarnya VCD Outline Design ini merupakan kegiatan dari pameran ya, Art Exposure, pameran dari 22 tugas akhir jurusan Visual Design UC yang juga merupakan soft launching dari bisnis kreatif yang mereka rancang selama proses tugas akhir. Jadi Anda bisa menyaksikan pamerannya di area Linear Atrium dekat dengan metro. Nah, bisa disaksikan di sana.
Betul sekali. Dan di Art Explosion ini juga ada Art Exhibition. Pameran joint project dari Visual Design Communication Universitas Ciputra dengan 4 kampus internasional, Pak Charlie.
Oke,
ada Birmingham City University UK,
I see.
Tunku Abdul Rahman University of Management and Technology Malaysia, Multimedia University Malaysia, dan Daya University Taiwan.
Wow, itu international universities.
Betul sekali.
Luar
Dan
biasa.
selain itu, kerennya lagi, Art Exhibition ini mengangkat tema Sustainable Development Goals. Nah, di sini teman-teman VCD mengajak para mahasiswa dan juga seluruh masyarakat untuk lebih aware terhadap isu sustainability.
Oke. Jadi di mana lokasinya?
Nah, pamerannya bisa dinikmati oleh para pengunjung dari Ciputra World Mall di East Linear Atrium.
Oh, luar biasa. Selain itu ada juga Art Excellence, pameran karya terbaik dari kompetisi. Ya, pameran karya terbaik dari kompetisi internasional ICIA, International Creativity and Innovation Award untuk siswa dari SD sampai SMA seluruh dunia yang juga mengangkat tema SDGs yang dilaksanakan oleh Kria Global dan pamerannya berlokasi di area East Linear Atrium dari Ciputra World Surabaya.
Selain itu, tidak berhenti di situ, acaranya masih ada lagi, ada Art Experience. Nah, Art Experience ini menampilkan 3D photo booth yang merupakan proyek kolaborasi antara student union dari Visual Communication Design, Fashion Product and Business, dan Interior Arsitektur.
Oke, you can take on stage to take a photo, better on stage.
Ciputra World Mall bisa berfoto dan menikmati experience yang ada di area Void Atrium.
And then we'll also have expert, artspert, bacanya susah nih. Artspert ya. Seminar internasional yang dibawakan oleh dosen dan profesor dari MMU Malaysia, Qatar UMT Malaysia, Birmingham City University UK, Institute Franchise Indonesia, Kriya Global, Tumbuh.ai, dan masih banyak lagi. Dan juga ada workshop kreatif dari hari Jumat sampai Minggu di area workshop dekat Uniglow. Workshop upcycling, crafting, hand lettering, coloring, hingga workshop bela diri juga ada loh guys. Dan jadwal lengkapnya bisa cek di IG vcd.outlineanddesign dan boleh langsung daftar on the spot di area East Linear Atrium dekat dengan Uniglow.
Nah Pak Charlie, ternyata di tengah-tengah kita juga turut hadir bersama kita ini merayakan salah satu program baru dari UC, yaitu Performance Art and Sport Management, yaitu senior legendaris di dunia musik Indonesia, dikenal dengan Om Lok, panggilannya dari Lok Zelebor Production, penyanyi dan grup band yang pernah ditangani oleh Lok antara lain Ita Purnamasari, Mel Sandy, kemudian ada Leiji Afisha, ada Niki Astria. Wow, aku ngefans banget sama Niki Astria. Kabar ada El Pamas, ada Kaisar Power Metal, Gang Pegagasan dan Bumerang, dan juga Jamrud. Hey, luar biasa ya. Oh, oke. Kemudian Bapak Ibu tadi kan sudah informasi bahwa akan ada tenan bazar. Nah, kita akan spill out ya. Apa saja sih tenan-tenan yang bisa Bapak Ibu kunjungi? Ada makanan, ada minuman, ada snack, ada juga lifestyle. Kalau untuk yang meal, ada makanan apa aja nih Bu? Wah, ada banyak sekali nih Pak Charlie. Yang pertama ada Mang Oles.
Mang Oles apa diolesin?
Mang Oles.
Mang Oles. Saya pikir oles-oles apa namanya minyak urut atau apa enggak ya?
Oh, bukan dong.
Bukan. I see.
Oke, kemudian ada Sate Babi 89.
Lala.
Ada Juicy Counter.
Betul.
Juga ada Lala Pico, ada Sarden Asahi, dan juga ada Pang-Pang Korean Food.
Pang-Pang Korean Food ya. Kemudian untuk stand minuman ada Rabenhorst. Ini apa nih ya? Belum pernah dengar nih.
Kayak kita harus mengunjungi
Harus
food
mengunjungi.
ini ya. Unik sekali ini namanya ya.
Ada Genius Milk and juga Shin Yin. Ini juga harus kayaknya dikunjungi nih. Ada Shin Yin. Kemudian kita bergeser terus karena sesi foto berlangsung. Ada apa lagi?
Ada banyak snack di sini, yaitu ada cake and pastries.
Yup.
Kemudian ada Heinik, kemudian ada es coklat idaman hati, The Bagor, dan Gedang.
Kayaknya saking laparnya salah ngomong kakak nih ya.
Aku kira The Batagor.
Nah, ternyata The Bagor, tapi kayaknya pasti jualan Batagor yang
sepertinya
pastinya. Kemudian untuk lifestyles, we have Toy Republic, ada Sidik Jari, ada Musham, Top Legal and Bantex Indonesia. Kemudian kita juga pernah berdukung acara nih, acara Explosion. Ada Mie Sedap, ada My Kopi O, ada Bantex Indonesia, Foster, Cheers, and Eats. Dan didukung oleh Kriya Global, World Creativity and Innovation Week,
Institute Franchise Indonesia, Ekoton, Tumbuh.ai, OCBC Bank, UKM Esport Universitas Ciputra, UKM Big Dance Crew dari Universitas Ciputra.
Oke, jadi nanti ada informasi juga nih mengenai lomba-lomba atau kompetisi yang bisa diikuti oleh siswa SMA dan juga umum. Di antaranya adalah UC Esport Mobile Legend Tournament. Kemudian
di sini juga akan diselenggarakan Manga Copic Coloring Competition. Dan juga akan ada K-pop dance.
Kayaknya harus nonton ya kalau K-pop dance ya. Pasti seru kayak tadi di pembukaan acara ya.
Betul
tadi
sekali.
Kayaknya Master Gip itu langsung kayak saya totally amazed dengan dance yang luar biasa. Saya masih ingat sekali. Jadi jangan lupa buat teman-teman semua yang hadir di sini tetap berada di Ciputra World Surabaya selama tanggal 5 sampai 7 Mei 2023. Terima kasih dan selamat siang. Ada lagi informasinya.
Buat teman-teman SMA nih Pak Charlie.
Ada.
UC punya penawaran sangat spesial.
Sangatnya 3 kali Bu.
Betul. Karena ini memang sangat spesial.
Yes, apa aja penawaran yang sangat spesial?
Yang pertama adalah free pendaftaran.
Free pendaftaran.
Dan juga akan ada potongan sebesar 2.500.000. Dan juga akan ada lucky draw yang berisi voucher Starbucks, voucher MAP, hoodie, tumbler, topi, dan masih banyak hadiah-hadiah lainnya.
So once again for teman-teman SMA ya, jangan
kemana-mana.
Jangan lewatkan kesempatan ini, betul ya?
Betul.
Karena ada promo-promo yang luar biasa. Tetap stay di sini selama 3 hari ke depan. Dan rangkaian acara pada kesempatan hari ini masih ada. Kayaknya sore masih ada kegiatan juga.
Masih ada.
Malam juga masih ada. So
ada.
stay tuned di Ciputra World Surabaya. Saya Charlie.
Saya Safira.
Terima kasih. See you next time.
cobain mie sedap selection Korean cheese noodle.
Cheesy and chewy noodle.
Udangnya udah. Kamu mau? Sedapnya mie sedap selection Korean cheese noodle. So fancy, momo sedap.
Satu pertanyaan yang sering kita tanyakan. Apa yang sebenarnya ingin kita capai di masa depan? Apakah dengan mengabaikan kata hati, menjalani apa yang sebenarnya bukan jadi pilihanmu sendiri? Mulai saat ini, pilihanmu adalah sesuatu yang sangat berarti. Berlari menuju peluang yang datang, buang semua ketakutan,
mulai untuk mengejar jawaban.
Rasakan pengalaman tak terlupakan di tempat di mana mimpi akan menjadi kenyataan. Mulai hari ini, jadilah dirimu sendiri.